Na mtazamaji usema kwamba nia njema ni tabibu, nia mbaya huharibu. Rais William Ruto hii leo amejitokeza na kuzungumza na wananchi na kusema kwamba yeye ana nia njema tu ya kufanikisha masuala yote ndani ya serikali ya Kenya Kwanza. Ni baadhi ya taarifa tulizokuandalia katika meza yetu ya NTV Weekendi, lakini kwanza mtazamaji tupate yaliyo.
The number of advisors in government shall be reduced by 50% within the public service with immediate effect.
Laiti angelisikiza haya mambo yote ambao wanafanya sahihi, angekuwa amefanya pale nyuma, hatungo tumefika mahali hapa.
Wakenya wamwandama Rais Ruto hadi mitandaoni. Ruto akijitetea na kuwakana wabadhirifu wa mali.
Na utakuwa always in our heart na tutawahi kusahau.
We are sorry that you had to go like this.
Waliojitolea kufa kupona maandamanoni waziko kwa uchungu mkubwa. Kenneth Njeru, Kirinyaga, Rex Masai, Machakos.
Tumeanzisha uchunguzi ambao umetupatia mwelekeo nini kilifanyika usiku.
Walinzi wawili katika kiwanda cha kahawa cha Marien huko Meru wauawa kisha kahawa kuibwa.
Lugha ya Kiswahili ina nafasi kubwa sana katika kupanda ile mbegu mapema.
Na shamra za siku tatu za kukienzi Kiswahili zaanza. Kilele ni Jumapili, Julai 7.
Hii ni NTV Weekendi na Frida Mwaka.
Na karibu mpenzi mtazamaji kwa taarifa kamili za NTV Weekend. Mfasiri wa lugha ishara ni David Agondoa. Nafanya mtagusano nami katika mitandao yetu ya kijamii at NTV Kenya @Mwaka Frida. Na moja kwa moja Rais William Ruto alijitokeza mbele ya umma kuzungumzia mzigo wa bajeti kubwa nchini kama walivyotaja vijana walioandamana kwa majuma matatu. Alitangaza kupunguza na kuomba nje kwa shilingi bilioni 177 miongoni mwa hatua zingine.
47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions will be dissolved, resulting in the elimination of their operational and maintenance costs, and their functions will be integrated into the respective line ministries. Public servants who attain the retirement age of 60 shall be required to immediately proceed on retirement with no extensions to their tenure of service whatsoever. The purchase of new motor vehicles by the government is suspended for 12 months, except for security agencies, while a new policy on transport for public officers will be developed. All non-essential travel by state and public officers is hereby suspended.
Aidha mtazamaji, Rais William Ruto alisema nafasi ya makatibu waandamizi katika serikali itasitishwa kwa muda ili kujaribu kuokoa pesa za umma. Hebu tumsikize.
The decision to fill the position of cabinet of chief administrative secretaries is hereby suspended. The number of advisors in government shall be reduced by 50% within the public service with immediate effect. Budget lines providing for the operations of the office of the First Lady, the spouse of the Deputy President, and the Prime Cabinet Secretary will be removed. Similarly, the budget provisions for confidential budgets in various executive offices, including my own office, have been removed, and the budget for renovations across government reduced by 50%.
Na mtazamaji, itaendelea kuziangazia taarifa kuhusiana na alichosema Rais William Ruto, lakini taarifa ifuatayo ni ya tanzia ambapo watu wawili ambao ni walinzi katika kiwanda cha kahawa cha Marien kilichoko katika kaunti ya Meru walipoteza maisha yao usiku wa kuamkia leo kabla ya kahawa ya thamani ya mamilioni ya pesa kuibwa. Tumpate sasa mwanahabari wetu Lois Wangoe kunradhi na taarifa hiyo.
Usiku wa Alhamisi ulishuhudia wahalifu kuvamia kiwanda cha kahawa cha Marian kwa nia ya kupora kahawa. Lakini wahalifu walikumbana na walinzi wawili wa kiwanda hicho na kukawa na makabiliano makali ambapo wahalifu waliwatoa uhai walinzi hao wawili kinyama.
Uzi huu ulifanyika kama saa 1 ya jioni jana. Ulianzia kufanyika jana jioni kama saa 1 hivi. Na kwa bahati mbaya wenzetu hawa wawili wamepoteza maisha yao.
Na tunasema afadhali wangebeba kahawa wasiue watu wetu waliua.
Baada ya mauaji ya walinzi hao, wahalifu walivamia zao la kahawa katika kiwanda hiki na kutoweka na kahawa ya thamani ya shilingi milioni 1.4.
Na magunia takriban 166 yakaibwa kutoka kwa kituo hiki cha kahawa cha Marien.
Hata jana ingekuwa vizuri sana kama the management wangeitisha security ya kulinda hiyo kahawa.
Kulingana na naibu kamishna wa Imenti ya Kati Sami Njuguna, wahalifu walivamia zao lote la kahawa katika kiwanda hicho, huku akisema kwamba mlinzi mmoja alifariki baada ya kugongwa kichwa, mwingine akinyongwa na kufa papo hapo.
Ni shinda iko Meru, ni shinda iko Nyeri, ni shinda iko Kirinyaga, ni shinda iko Embu. All the producing coffee areas, they have this particular problem. And it is very good that this particular issue is sorted once and for all.
Wenyeji wa eneo hilo la Imenti ya Kati sasa wanasema wanakadiria hasara kubwa, ila kuu zaidi utovu wa usalama ulioziondoa nyoyo za watu wawili wasio na hatia. Lois Wangoe, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, tukisalia katika taarifa tanzania ni kwamba Kenneth Njeru mwenye umri wa miaka 20 ambaye aliuawa kwenye maandamano Nairobi wiki jana alizikwa Alhamisi huku familia ikililia haki. Njeru alizikwa huko Gishugu katika kaunti ya Kirinyaga ambapo familia inasema kifo chake ni pigo kubwa kwao. Mwanahabari wetu Rose Ngoi anaarifu kwa kina. Na mtazamaji, nafahamishwa kwamba taarifa hiyo bado inaendelea kuandaliwa, ikishakuwa tayari itakupakulia. Basi waziri wa utumishi wa umma Moses Kuria alilazimika kukatiza ujumbe wake ghafla. Hii ni kabla na baada ya waombolezaji kununa na kutoa kauli za kumpiga Rais William Ruto na wandani wake. Kuria alikuwa akizungumza katika mazishi ya babake Jimmy Wanjigi huko Nyeri, na katika mazishi hayo kinara wa Azimio Raila Odinga aliwapongeza vijana wa Gen Z kwa ukakamavu. Mwanahabari wetu Margaret Kimathi na taarifa hiyo kwa kina.
Katika eneo ambalo liliunga mkono muungano wa Kenya Kwanza katika uchaguzi wa mwaka 2022, waziri wa utumishi wa umma Moses Kuria hangetarajia hili. Pindi tu alipoanza kuzungumza katika hafla ya mazishi ya babake Jimmy Wanjigi huko Nyeri, waombolezaji walianza kuonesha kukerwa, huku wakitoa kauli za kumpinga Rais William Ruto na watu wake wa karibu. Kuria alilazimika kukatiza ujumbe wake. Kwa upande wake, kinara wa Azimio Raila Odinga amewapongeza vijana almaarufu kama Gen Z kwa ukakamavu wao wa kujitokeza na kuandamana dhidi ya mswada tata wa fedha wa mwaka 2024.
Kenya needs a cardinal sin so that when our people are going to the streets, the young people, let the bishops wear your gowns, the nuns, and walk with our young people so that they're not killed.
Baba, kaa nyumbani. Umefanya ya kutosha. Tutaendelea. Niko nyumbani lakini niko behind you. So these are the issues that we need to get things right. Police should not use brutality against unarmed, innocent people who are demonstrating for their rights.
Wakati huo, Gavana wa Nyeri Mutahi Kahiga alimkaribisha rasmi kinara wa Azimio katika eneo la Mlima Kenya.
I want to tell you that you are now in the mountain. This is where the mountain is. Na baba karibu kwa mlima. Last time wewe ulitafuta watu hawajui mlima. Iko watu wanaelewa hii mlima vizuri. Come and we see that. May God bless you so very much.
Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, tuangazie taarifa tulioangazia awali kwamba Kenneth Njeru mwenye umri wa miaka 20 ambaye aliuawa kwenye maandamano hapa jijini Nairobi wiki jana alizikwa Alhamisi huku familia yake ikililia haki. Njue alizikwa huko Gishugu katika kaunti ya Kirinyaga ambapo familia inasema kifo chake ni pigo kubwa kwao. Tumpate sasa mwanahabari wetu Rose Ngoi na mengi.
Waombolezaji walikusanyika katika kijiji cha Karia, kaunti ya Kirinyaga kwa mazishi ya Kenneth Njeru mwenye umri wa miaka 20 ambaye aliuawa na polisi wakati wa maandamano ya kupinga mswada wa fedha wa mwaka wa 2024. Njeru alikuwa miongoni mwa waandamanaji waliopigwa risasi mbele ya majengo ya bunge. Familia ilimtaja kwa mtu aliyelelewa vizuri na mwenye heshima kubwa.
He was the best son someone could ask for. He was jovial, calm, patient, and above all, generous.
Next time we meet, it will be at heaven's door. When I see the standing there, I won't cry anymore. I will put my arms around you and hug you.
Dear bro, you are the best, not the easiest, but definitely the coolest. I love you, and I will always obey your name. Rest enshani, please bro. Tutaonana baadaye.
Kosa lake pekee, familia ilisema, ni kushiriki maandamano ya amani na kutetea haki za Wakenya wote.
Kena alikuwa mwenzetu bana, na hiyo siku bana Kena alikuwa anatetea taifa. Sisi tunambig up, si ndio?
Na utakuwa ulezi na wa heart na tutawahi kusahau. Umetuprotect, ulikufaka a hero na tunakurespect sana. Umetukufia, ulienda kufight juu yetu na tunakupenda tu sana.
Njeru ni miongoni mwa watu 39 ambao wameuawa tangu kuanza kwa maandamano dhidi ya mswada wa fedha nchini Kenya kulingana na shirika la haki za kibinadamu.
Na mtazamaji, mashirika yasiyo ya kiserikali ya haki za binadamu hii leo yamefanya mkutano na kutoa taarifa yao kuhusu swala la maandamano ambayo yanaongozwa na vijana wa Gen Z kupinga mswada wa fedha ambao ulikuwa mkoko tu ulioalika maua ya mambo mengi kuhusu hali ya taifa ilivyo. Wakizungumza katika afisi zao hapa jijini Nairobi, walitoa maoni kuhusu vile wanaitaka serikali kukomesha ukiukaji wa haki za binadamu.
Staff for Interior, that is Professor Kindiki, Inspector General of Police, Jafeth Koome, Director of Criminal Investigation, Ms. Bonaigonga, Director of National Intelligence Service, Bwana Haji, to initiate the following immediate measures. 1. Cease all abductions, enforced and involuntary disappearances. 2. Cease surveillance, threat and intimidation of human rights defenders and civil society actors. 3. Provide adequate security measures to counter the infiltration of criminal elements and facilitate the exercise of the right to peaceful protest by all citizens.
The present crisis presents an opportunity to change the course. It is a defining moment to realign the government's policies and initiate tangible and coherent measures to ensure that all state organs, executive, legislature, and judiciary work towards the fulfillment of the 2010 Constitution are accountable to the citizens of Kenya. We remain at service to the people of Kenya and in solidarity in the fight for accountability and good governance and justice.
Na mtazamaji, baada ya taarifa hiyo ya Sauti ya Haki, niruhusu sasa nichukue mapumziko mafupi. Nitarudi na mengi zaidi katika meza yetu ya NTV Weekend.
Dettol Skincare combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
You asked women empowerment,
business ideas, careers,
fashion,
men's mental health, neno la Mungu,
parenting.
Ni vijana wanaweza pata tu do.
We listened.
I'm a bit scared because the rate of divorce is really high.
Marriage is a scam.
It's new, it's fresh, it's your world, your reality.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Karibu tena mtazamaji, tuangazie taarifa hii ambapo kituo cha habari cha Nation Media kimekuwa katika mstari wa mbele kuikuza lugha ya Kiswahili kupitia gazeti rasmi la Taifa Leo na mpango wa NIE. Na hii leo wafanyakazi wa NMG wamepata fursa ya kujishebedua na kujipima ufahamu wao wa lugha ndani ya Chemsha Bongo na kumzawadi atakayepata jibu sahihi shilingi 1,000 pesa taslim. Mtazamaji, kunao waliojitosa kimasomaso kwenye mizani na wale waliodai eti Kiswahili ni kigumu. Yote 9, Kenya imeungana na ulimwengu kushabikia lugha ya Kiswahili kwa matayarisho ya kuadhimisha siku hii ya Jumapili. Haya, nafahamishwa tutaangazia hao baadaye, lakini msukumo wa kukifanya Kiswahili kuwa lugha ya rasmi ya nchi zinazounda Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki na mataifa mengine imepigwa jeki ili kuongeza upana wa lugha hii katika kuenea kwake ulimwenguni. Hatua hiyo ikitajwa kutoa wito kwa wadau wa Kiswahili katika nyanja mbalimbali, hasa taaluma na vyombo vya habari. Mwanahabari Fatma Bugu anaoketo wa taarifa hiyo inayofungua siku 3 za maadhimisho ya siku ya Kiswahili duniani.
Katika maadhimisho ya 3 ya siku ya Kiswahili duniani tangu kuanzishwa kwake rasmi na UNESCO mwaka 2021, kongamano la pili la kimataifa la Kamisheni ya Kiswahili ya Afrika Mashariki Kakama liliandaliwa mjini Mombasa. Mjadala kuhusu upaliliaji wa amani katika baadhi ya nchi zinazounda Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki kupitia lugha ya Kiswahili ulishamiri.
For us to achieve regional cooperation, unity and socio-economic development, and to prosper as a community, it is necessary that we strengthen our interactions by use of common language.
Washikadau hapa walipendekeza kuwepo na msukumo wa kulihimiza Baraza la Mawaziri la Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki kuweka sahihi makubaliano kuwezesha Kiswahili kuwa lugha rasmi ya nchi zilizo wanachama wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki na bara Afrika.
I invite my ministers, honorable ministers, everyone who is here to join me in fighting to get this treaty adapted and reconsidered, and to get Kiswahili as an official language in Yala.
Tuwe na mapendekezo ya kwamba sheria zinazotumika na sera zinazoundwa zikaweze kuandikwa na kuchapishwa katika lugha ya Kiswahili.
Tayari baadhi ya wanachama wameweka mikakati ya kusaidia kukuza Kiswahili na kuwawezesha kukizungumza kupitia hamasisho na utoaji mafunzo shuleni.
Kila nchi mwanachama inatakiwa iwe na baraza la kuratibu hizo shughuli, wawe na vyama vya Kiswahili, wawe na taasisi mbalimbali ambazo zinakuza Kiswahili. Kwa hivyo nikisema katika matumizi na ukuzaji na utekelezaji, kuna nchi zaidi ya 6 ambazo zimeshaweka mikakati.
Halikadhalika, kwa mujibu wa ikisiri za tafiti kutoka kwa wataalamu wa Kiswahili, ni wajibu wao kuwekeza katika fikra za watoto ili kujenga heshima na amani.
Na lugha ya Kiswahili ina nafasi kubwa sana katika kupanda ile mbegu
mapema katika mfumo wetu wa elimu. Ina maana kwamba lazima tubadilishe mitaala ya Kiswahili na tuanze kuangalia ni kwa namna gani tunaingiza fikra za uvumilivu, fikra za kuheshimiana, fikra za uzalendo, fikra za uana Afrika Mashariki, nje ya fikra za ukabila.
Kilele cha siku ya maadhimisho ya siku ya Kiswahili duniani kitakuwa Jumapili, ambapo shamra zimeandaliwa yakiwemo makulati, kujivunia na kukienzi Kiswahili katika eneo la Fort Jesus. Fatma Bogo, NTV kutoka kaunti ya Mombasa.
Mtazamaji, katika hiyo pumzi tu ya kuienzi lugha hii ya Kiswahili, sasa tuangazie chemsha bongo ambayo ilikithiri hapa katika shirika hili la Nation Media.
Editor in chief kwa Kiswahili ni nani?
Nafikiria ni mhariri mkuu.
Peke yake.
Peke yake, hiyo ndo nafikiria.
Umenoa.
Mhariri msimamizi wa kitengo ya Kiswahili.
Mhariri mkuu wa habari.
Meneja mhariri mkuu. Nataka unipatie methali ambayo inaambatana na neno bahari.
Bahari.
Na methali ambayo inaambatana na neno maji.
Maji. Zote mbona zinanitoka vile nimeniuliza.
Palipo na wazee haparibiki jambo. Basi ndo amepata kabisa ikiwa sahihi. Asante sana, nimeshukuru sana. Haba na haba.
Jaza kebab.
Umekula shilingi 1000 pesa taslim kutoka kwa kitengo cha Kiswahili.
Asante sana.
Elimu ni kama bahari, haina kuta wala milango.
Elimu ni kama bahari, halina
kuta wala neno moja tu,
mabati.
Nataka unipatie methali sawia na kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa kusonga ugali.
Usitupe mbacha.
Kuna hili neno ambalo lilitamba sana katika neno la siku, na neno lenyewe ni mpiaro.
Mpiaro ni mtu mwenye anaongea maneno yenye si ya heshima.
Jamani, amejishindia shilingi 1000 kutoka katika kitengo cha Kiswahili. Bwana CEO kwa Kiswahili tamuita nani?
Afisa mkuu mtendaji.
Umepata jamani. Kazi safi, umejishindia shilingi 1000 pesa taslim.
Da.
Nataka sasa uimbe wimbo wa taifa la Kenya kwa lugha ya ishara.
Mungu nguvu yetu ilete baraka kwetu. Haki iwe ngao na mlinzi.
Na mtazamaji, basi ndio hawa wafanyakazi hapa katika shirika hili ambao walijishebedua tu na kujaribu kuzungumza lugha ya Kiswahili. Kwa wale waliosema Kiswahili ni kigumu, jamani, si lugha ngumu, ni lugha tamu. Siku zote Kiswahili kitukuzwe, kisifukuzwe. Na mtazamaji, tusonge mbele basi na taarifa zetu kwamba taarifa mabadiliko kwenye baraza la mawaziri na Rais William Ruto adhuhuri ya leo imepokelewa kwa msimuko kote nchini, huku baadhi ya Wakenya wakisema hoja alizoangazia Ijumaa hii angezitekeleza hata kabla ya maandamano ambayo yameishia kwa vifo na kuumizwa kwa baadhi ya Wakenya. Tumpate sasa mwanahabari wetu Bridget Ngana na maelezo.
Kabla ya kuingia kwa mtandao wa X, Rais William Ruto alihutubia nchi huku akionekana kukubaliana na mapendekezo za Wakenya yaliyotokana na maandamano ya wiki 3 kwanza. Rais akitangaza jopo kazi la kuangazia deni la kitaifa.
I have today appointed an independent task force to carry out a comprehensive forensic audit of our public debt and report to us in the next 3 months.
Bado sisi tunangoja shoka. Hatujaona shoka. Amekuwa mwaka hapo. Na nataka tumwambie rais hapa hakuna kupembelezana, hatutaki vijana tena warudi barabara.
Na unajua mambo imeenda kombo kwa sababu president mwenyewe isipokuwa ni Gen Z wameamuka, yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anatupeleka kwa shimo.
Mashirika ya serikali 47 yatavunjwa huku fedha zilizotengewa afisi za wake wa rais na naibu wake na hata waziri mwandamizi zikiondolewa kwenye bajeti mara moja.
47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions will be dissolved, resulting in the elimination of their operational and maintenance costs.
Ile kitu tunataka kusikia ni serikali ya Kenya kwa hizi fedha ambazo wanachukua wanafanya nini kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wanapata kazi.
Ila baadhi ya Wakenya wanapendekeza kuwa haya yote yangeepukika iwapo rais angefuata katiba kikamilifu.
Tunataka mawaziri iweze kufikia hata 14, 15 kwa sababu ndio gharama iweze kurudi chini.
Maana laiti angelisikiza haya mambo yote ambao wanafanya sahihi, angekuwa amefanya pale nyuma, hatungo tumefika mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo kuna kasoro mahali fulani.
Rais pia akisema hakuna afisa wa serikali atashiriki kwenye harambee makanisani.
These measures will be followed by changes in government that I will be making shortly.
Haijabainika kama afisi ya waziri mwandamizi Musalia Mudavadi itaathirika na mabadiliko yanayotarajiwa serikalini ama ni ile ya mkewe pekee. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Baada ya taarifa yake Bridget Ngana, sasa tunaingia katika awamu yetu ya pili ya mapumziko. Mtazamaji, endelea kusema nami katika mitandao yetu ya kijamii @NTV Kenya @Mwakafrida, hashtag ikiwa ni NTV Weekendi, teleke madukani.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a really good day.
Panadol Extra releases you from strong pain. Panadol, release starts here.
5 questions, it's Sarah. Hi guys. Wow, Sarah, your skin is glowing. What beauty soap do you use? I use a beauty soap that keeps my skin soft, moisturized, and protected from germs. But Sarah, the beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Karibu mtazamaji, tudunde viwanjani. Mkufunzi mpya wa Liverpool Ancelotti amesema kwamba akona imani na kikosi chake baada ya kuchukua usukani. Kocha huo alichukua nafasi ya Jurgen Klopp ambaye aling'atuka baada ya msimu uliopita kukamilika. Slot ambaye aliongoza kikosi cha Feyenoord nchini Uholanzi akona kibarua kigumu kuhifadhi hadhi ya timu hiyo. Klopp alitangaza mapema mwaka huu kuwa ataiaga Liverpool baada ya miaka 8.5. Mkufunzi huyo aliweza kushinda ligi kuu ya Uingereza, ligi kuu ya bara Ulaya, kombe la klabu bingwa duniani, kombe la Super na mengineyo.
Morning. That I do feel we have a real good team, real good squad, and I think as a manager you want to work at a club where there are good players with the opportunity to win something, and the past has shown that there is a possibility for Liverpool to win some trophies.
Na kikosi cha taifa kitakachoelekea mashindano Olimpiki kwa sasa kiko katika ikulu mjini Nairobi, ambapo wamekabidhiwa rasmi bendera ya taifa na Rais William Ruto. Timu hiyo itaelekea mji mkuu wa Ufaransa kwa mashindano ya mwaka huu, ambayo mtazamaji yatang'oa nanga tarehe 26 mwezi huu hadi tarehe 11 mwezi Agosti. Sare maalum ambayo itatumika katika hafla ufunguzi vilevile ilizinduliwa rasmi, na Kenya inawinda kung'aa katika mashindano hayo baada ya kuvuna nishani 10 katika makala ya mwaka 2020 mjini Tokyo. Kenya itawakilishwa na wanamichezo zaidi ya 70, wakiwemo wanariadha wa mbio za masafa mafupi na refu, kikosi cha wanawake cha mchezo wa voliboli, kikosi cha raga ya wachezaji 7 kila upande, judo, mchezo wa fencing na uogeleaji wawili.
Ambaye inapendeza kabisa. As you have seen, it was a process that was all-inclusive and ensured that the designers have come together to produce something.
Na mtazamaji, mashindano ya bara Europa yamerejea leo usiku, huku awamu ya robo fainali ikiratibiwa, na kwa sasa Uhispania na wenyeji Ujerumani zinapambana katika uwanja wa Stuttgart kutathmini ni yupi atakayefuzu kwa nusu fainali ya mashindano hayo. Baadaye leo usiku mwendo wa saa 4 Ureno itajitosa uwanjani dhidi ya Ufaransa katika mechi inayotarajiwa. Nacho kishuhudia katika runinga yako ni mchezo ambao unakuja moja kwa moja mbashara. Bado wana michezo hawa katika nafasi ya nunge kwa nunge. Haya basi, baada ya taarifa hizo za spoti, sasa sina budi kusema kwa heri na kamilisha taarifa zetu za NTV Weekendi. Siku zote ni Frida Mwaka, nitaitika, mfasiri wa lugha ishara ni David Gondoa. Ila mtazamaji wangu, nataka ujifunze tu sana Kiswahili, kwa hivyo nakuacha na neno la siku. Nafahamishwa kwamba neno la siku limetuhepa leo, lakini usitie shaka, hapo kesho tajifunza zaidi. Usiku mwanana.
This is NTV.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a really good day.
Panadol Extra releases you from strong pain. Panadol, release starts here.
With Glovo, unaweza order anything you want from your city. Fish choma, burgers, groceries, snacks, drinks, kitu yoyote from the pharmacy. Hata hotel. And Glovo brings it to you in minutes. Na ikikufikia, you're left with this face with this this one. Yeah! With Glovo, unaweza track your order and also contact customer support, which is always available. Download the app, order anything you want, and we'll deliver in minutes. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm your host, Dr. Kingori. Guest wetu wa leo ni wale among the guests tunasemanga who needs no introduction. If you interacted with his content, you have to agree that he's one of the finest content creators and comedians in the country. Diversity of character, na he always surprises you in every turn. Terence is in the house. Hey. Karibu sana kwa show.
Asante sana.
Nafurahi sana cause me ni one of the people nimewatch your evolution of characters. Kwanza ukianza comedy ya stand up, ukianza na ulikuwa sasa very big on observing mapasta. Mapasta na alikuwa ameenda so deep mpaka ulikuwa umestudy mpaka mapepo.
Kutoa mashitani.
Yes.
Unajua una notice mashetani wanga different. Unajua kuna mashetani za kizungu na za Kenya. Unajua normal pastor kama ni mzungu akianza kutoa mashetani inaitwa exorcism.
Yes.
Anaambianga shetani, what is your name? Shetani anasema John. Anasema I command you to leave this body. Shetani inatoka inaenda home. Hiyo ujinga mnajaribu kuleta hapa Murang'a ya kutoa watu mashetani. Unauliza mashetani, unaitwa nani? Gude. Unaambia shetani, toka. Inakuuliza tunaenda aje? Unatuacha hivyo.
ulikuwa big. As in, ule mse naurumia mse yako ipata chance ya kuwatch content yako ya church sana sana. Na umekuwa na diversity of character. What's the most fun person you've become? Like kwa ukitoka kwa Mbithi, ukitoka kwa Caretaker, what's the most fun person?
I think kila character inakuwaga na kila character unitake kwa a different step. Kwanza nilianzanga na kama mimi juu ya mama. Wamama wanapenda udaku sana, hata wasi wa mama. Machalindi wanapenda udaku sana hii Kenya. Kuliko hata madem. So I started with kama mimi, then I introduced Caretaker because hiyo character ya Caretaker mimi ucheza ni Caretaker wetu, mahali tulikuwa tunakaanga pango. Hiyo anakaaga tu hiyo.
Kama yenye ulikuwa na dress
kama dem. Kama dem
ilikuwa kama mimi. Character.
Ilikuwa so character.
In short, kama mimi ni Kenodia in real life.
Nganodia.
So Caretaker wenu?
Caretaker ni Caretaker wetu wa ploti. Ni wale makiateka wa unajua wale watu wanakuitisha rent wakipiga binja hata mbele ya watu. Unasemaje na ni tarehe 4? Sasa huyu alikuwa hivyo hata yani hakuna chini ya maji eti. Sika siku tunatumia ka email sijui ka WhatsApp ati lipa rent sijui huyo ni binja.
Hapo na hapo.
Machali ya namna gani? Tuweke kufuli.
Na waliai kufungia.
Waliai nifungia. Actually hao walikuwa na tabia mbaya. Hao wako wanakufungia nyumba. Walikuwa nakata stima na maji. So mko huko hivi unasikia huko wasomu kunaongea radio lakini kwa kuongea. Na ilikuwa inapen siku ile kuna wageni. Sijui kama alikuwa anangoja wageni wakipanda hivi kata. Timing ya shetani. Alikuwa mbaya sana. So I think that's why I got that character. Na ilikuwa ni vitu tu zimenifanyikia tu hapo. So most of my characters ni vitu zina happen around mimi. Okay. Siendagi mbali.
Na your favorite?
I think each is favorite because kila character unaona kama kuna Mbithi au Mkamba Mbithi pia.
Yes.
Ni funny tu kivyake. Inanijazingi tu kivyake. Ni ngumu sana. I think Nairobi ndio nimeona Wakamba wengi wako na base. Like watatu.
Pole Tom.
Lakini unajua wengine hata unaweza kutana na mtu kwa barabara unless utandi utajua ni Charlie Mkamba. Excuse me. So hata mali nimegrow kulikuwa na Wakamba wengi. So unaweza sikia wakigombana Charlie na dem. Ni Charlie na dem. But lakini unadhani ma sister.
Yes.
Ndomboe nengo kuwa ndomboe. Sasa mpaka saa ile mpaka sasa ile mmoja atataja jina ya mwingine ndio ujue chali ni mgani na dem ni mgani. Mbidi ni ngokuwa, nduku ni ngokuwa. Ndio unajua huyu ni chali na dem. Otherwise in my life nimeishi tu kuona wakamba wako na soprano. And they don't look. Mpaka sasa ile anafungua mdomo.
Mseni wait lakini.
Njambo.
Now you had a stint in Ukambani.
Yes.
I'm sorry, sijaweza kukuuliza hii. Nilijua Terence 13 years ago.
First time
kuingia. Inaenda 14 sasa hii.
Yes.
Ukiwa Kani ulikuwa advisor wa comedians.
Yes.
Ulikuwa unasikia joke unasema ongeza hii.
Kuna itomeza
but before that umegrow up wapi? Nai Ukambani cause wewe ongea Kikamba pia bado.
Nimegrow Mlango Kubwa hapa Mathare. So tulikuwa na majirani wetu wengi ni walikuwa Wakamba. So hapo tulikuwa tunakaa mimi, shosho yangu, mabro wangu watatu na anko zangu wawili, like 8 people in one square room. So venye tu shosho madhangu alinizaa alinipeleka kwa Mukuru. So yeye kupitia hapo tu anaangalia kama mimi niko na mabro zangu. I'm the last born, we are 3 boys. So nikalelewa hapo, nikakuwa inaitango day scholar, chokora day scholar. Ule naendanga chokora unakaa kidogo, kukikuwa na msako unarudi home. Because sasa mko watu 8 kwa keja na mnategemea shosho yenu ni mtu wa mboga, hawezi fanya anything. So lazima mjitegemee. So nikakuwa chokora hapo.
Hold up. Chokora day scholar inamaanisha uko kwa streets mchana?
Na chokora day scholar inamaanisha naweza rudi home anytime, kakinuka kwa street. Kulikuwa na msako, unajua msako wewe? Unajua msako? Watu wameshikwa hapa, watu wa marasta. Unajua msako? Msako ni ile siku makarau wa wanasafisha mtaa. Kila mtu shikwa nani ukipatikana nje. So siku ya msako ndio nilikuwa narudi home.
Na unajuaje siku ya msako?
Asi unajua.
Uliwaishikwa?
Dimori ni kama ameenda. Unajua basi. Nishashikwa. Lakini kwa mdogo so na machiliwa.
So ukishikwa mtu anapelekwa wapi?
Ulikuwa anapelekwa Pangani police station. Wengine wanapelekwa approved. Kwa sababu tulikuwa pelekwa approved, wengine wanahepa. But mimi nilikuwa kachokora kanajua kizungu. Na kujiexpress, unajua hawa nini, nilikuwa mpaka na beg. Oi nisaidie, anko nisaidie shilingi 10, mamangu na babangu walikufa, usiponipe shilingi 10 nikifika nyumbani mamangu ataniua na uwe babangu.
Okay. So na shosho yako alikuwa anajua mchana unakuanga chokora?
Anajua mimi ni chokora tu.
But si lazima hata urudi home daily.
Si lazima nirudi home. Hata nilikuwa nakaa wiki mbili. Na hiyo time bado nilikuwa naendanga chuo. Nilikuwa nasomanga St. Bridget.
Do you remember place yenye uliona God amekutoa kwa umaskini, like unaweza ona hiyo gap kabisa? Like una feel umepona sasa?
Kupona kutoka kwa umaskini? I think mimi define umaskini very differently. Umaskini kwangu si kukosa do na kukosa kitu ya kufanya, ni kutojua ni nini nitafanya next, ni kutojua nitapata wapi do, unaelewa, nitapata wapi hustle. So nikiamka leo nijue hakuna, sina form, but nikahivi niko na talanta, kuna mali naweza ipeleka nikijituma, nikaanza kujituma nayo na nikaona inajipa. Venye nafanya hizi makarakta kwa online inajipa, naanza kupata tu job hivyo ikajipa, ndio nikajua yenyewe hapa ni Mungu ananitoa.
Which unasema kitu ya maana sana juu, let's say for example, wewe ulianza na background yenyewe, haukuwa sure ati wewe unaweza ngoja msea kuandike job, ati ni aje, formally peleka CV. Umaitafuta job hivyo by the way?
Niliaitafutia job na shosho yangu na nikafutwa. Ilikuwa base fulani ya chipo. So nilikuwa waiter. So nilikuwa nimevanga kishati fulani kikubwa kama hizo umeona pale. So nikienda panguzia customer meza, kishati yangu kikalambanga hapo kwa
Tati yako ikapita na mafuta ya chipo.
Kapita tu hapo kwa chipo ya msee. So mdosi anapigia shosho yangu anamwambia, "Dosi udaga okay." So kesho asikuje. So years later ndio nilijua ati I was unhygienic. Sio ndio sikuwa na nini ati nakaa hiyo job. But nimefanya job mob, nimekuwa makanga, nimepiga set, nimekuwa hoka.
Ulikuwa makanga? Ulikuwa makanga?
Namba 6, namba 9.
Kwanza unakuanga sasa ndio nimeunderstand. Unakuanga na ile list ya hawkers ya kila kitu wanauzanga
at the
same
sweet biscuits particle diamond ya kunguni pati tochi na maji ya dadni. Chips.
Kuna time ulikuwa unauza maji, suruali ya mtoto, tochi na panga.
Si ndio sweet biscuits particle diamond ya kunguni pati tochi panga, handkerchief, karibu customer.
na strategy kuna kuanga na strategy for the time ulikuwa unauza, of course hiyo ilikufunza marketing skills. Kuna kuanga na nini ya kutembea ukiwa supermarket na hizo vitu zote,
hierarchy. Kutembeaje
inaitwa hierarchy hiyo kitu. Hoka akiwa na hizo vitu zote, uko na diapers, maji, torch na panga.
Unajua hoka uzanga kulingana na venye unakaa. Ndio anaweza kuangalia hivi akwambia customer tissue. Unakaa umekazwa.
So utembea na kila kitu.
Hoka utembea na kila kitu.
Yes.
Jua na kuangalia tissue customer, angalia magazines.
Yes.
Angalia hivi aone Mluya radio. So hoka uza, ukiangalia hoka kuna vitu mob. Hata hivi akuja kuone, hata akikuona hivi ataona unakaa whatever. Utachaja, but endo ujiangalia.
Hata everybody ya judgment.
Ni judgment.
So hoka anafaa kukuonesha brand yako ni nini.
Anakuangalia hivi atajua ni nini unataka.
A random boy on the street, ukijua wewe ni msee uko hapa by chance, God's grace ya ni aje, things happened ndio uko hapa leo. Things happened ndio uko unaweza kuwa respected. Things happened ndio uko jina yako inaweza kuwa mentioned somewhere. What do you say to a random kid mwenye kitu fulani tu akipatiwa kwa life yake ama chance yake, something they need to do? What do you say to that random kid mwenye anataka a shot in life? Because kuna wewe sai, someone will treat you different from when someone angekukuta siku ya msako.
I think what I will tell to that random kid, accept life as it is. Kuna miaka ya giza. Kuna time hauoni anything. And mi kuna miaka singejua ati naona ati sasa kama sasa hizo 14 years ago siwezi kwa nimejiona hapa hivi ati ni mtu akona career akona nini. Hiyo time utaona hiyo giza kwa maisha yako. Usiishi kwa hiyo giza. Try to imagine what is beyond this, what is beyond the dark that I'm seeing. You understand? So in other words, don't give up on yourself, because everybody may give up on you. Mama yako bure, huyu hawezi tusaidia kijiji, everyone. The best thing you can do is never to give up on yourself, or never give up on you, you know, because I believe there is a brighter future for everyone. So long as they remain focused and hold to that belief that one day I'll be that person. Na mtu afai kuambia you can't be anything. Even if today you stood here, you say I want to be the next president, utakuwa. But mtu asiye kuambia ati haiwezekani, asiwahi kuambia. It's only you who can tell you yourself like that.
With Glovo, unaweza order anything you want from your city. Fish choma, burgers, groceries, snacks, drinks, kitu yoyote from the pharmacy. Hata uteo. And Glovo brings it to you in minutes. Na ikikufikia, you're left with this face, with this this one. Yeah! With Glovo, unaweza track your order and also contact customer support, which is always available. Download the app, order anything you want, and we'll deliver in minutes.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
The moment is yours. Seize the day. Changamkia your potential with new Nescafe 3-in-1 Creamy White.
Asante sana. Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm your host, Dr. Kingori. Our guest for this episode, you can go check it out on social media. One of the most requested people you want to see on the show. One of the youngest entertainers in the country. Vile nimesema, self-made. She talked her way into a radio job. Amekuja leo to vibe sana sana on how safari yake imekuwa kutoka Eldoret to be one of the greatest voices yenye young people are listening to. King Kalala is in the house. Wazi.
Long live the clan, of course. Akiwewe. Kai. Wasemaje mkubwa?
Karibu sana. Long live the clan.
Of course. Long live the clan. Watagwan, niambie.
Clan. Ebu kwanza define clan. Clan ni akina nani?
I mean, when I say clan, my idea inakuanga, unajua at the end of the day, kuna kunga na mbogi kuna engineers, kuna doctors, kuna everybody has a place to belong, but then the clan is the one place where you show up and you're like, you know what, mi niko hivi, mi na feel hivi, mi niko mse. I'm like, you know what, long live the clan Karibia. We accept you for who you are. Okay. Point me as long as you're giving us mileage. Okay. Nice and easy. Okay. At the end of the day, long live the clan.
Wazi. Alafu, so you are the clan matriarch.
The king of the clan, bwana.
Oh, the king.
King and the peasants.
You are the king mother.
Yeah. King daddy, come on.
Sawa. Is this something, the clan thing, ilikuja ika develop after, ama even from your content ya kitambo, because people may not know this, but we tried setting this up kitambo like 2 years ago, but you are too young to travel by yourself.
Now, I want to shout out, of course, the Wicked Show, because nakumbuka go through a lot. Maze go through place yenye budango koza Wendy, hauna degree, Wendy, wewe, hauna degree na unaenda wapi. But then with the clan, I would say that mse ka Churchill. Actually, I would actually give it to Churchill, okay? Churchill came to me and told me, Kalala, I love what you're doing, I love what you're going through, I love how your brand is going through. Kitu nataka ni kuwa na vibe na audience, okay? Tupeni vibe. Wakaniambia je, make a situation where that the audience can relate to you. So when I was interacting with my manager, akaniambia je, Kalala, una feel aje about the clan, the King Kalala clan. So now when we're looking for hashtag, ilikuwa the hashtag KKK, and you know how that looks like. It's kidogo. Yes. So now we're like, long live the clan. So let's find a place where the clan is not exact. Aina rules.
Yes.
Point ni kama una go through kitu alafu wase wanakulemea, inakuwa kidogo ngumu kumess na hao, then come through. Long live the clan. We're going to accept you, we're going to build you, we're going to make you who you are. Okay. So you're no point here, long live the clan. Okay. The clan is going to live long because the clan is all about everybody, regardless of who you are, your gender, your color, whatever you subscribe to. Point ni, long live the clan.
Okay.
Nice and easy.
A special shout out to Babaya King Kalala for actually making sure, setting the standards that guests to be on the show.
That is not the guy, bwana.
No.
Hey, unaharibu.
I'm a set standards that guests akikuja kwa show lazima akuwe na degree. Wapi makofi yake?
Unaharibu.
Haya, wacha tujenge basi.
Unaharibu.
Now, motivation yangu, na especially why I'm excited to bring you on the show, you are an example of what I keep telling people. Like, do what you do and let it make a way for you.
Real talk.
Because when you started doing videos on your phone is how people noticed you, and then you could not be ignored anymore. Sindio?
Yeah.
What has the journey been like?
I mean, if I would take like 2 seconds to talk about the journey, I remember that my phone was worth 17K. Okay? Alafu nile simfalini nye budako mekubaia ndo access the school portal. Seta mekubaia ukwe msanii, school portal. So what people didn't understand about me is that at the end of the day nafikanga place yenye, of course, life ina work out TV, but then at the end of the day ina kunok. Case and point, I was a student in Jomo Kenyatta. I still am kidogo working on it like but I'm still working on it. I'm not gonna say don't do it, I'm saying do it.
Okay.
So far so good inakataa kwa life yangu, but then niko kwa ile place fulani yenye go there, try it, okay? Unafika place fulani, of course nakulemea, either ni mzazi ama ni maganji ama ni unafika place unaambia kali mazee tupige show, unaambia kalala mazee kalala come do my podcast, kalala nakataa. Endelea tu kukilea kazi, okay? Kukuja nayo utajipa, but it's going to take a little bit of time, okay?
A little bit of time.
So what tunafaa kudu kama wase wa kawaida, composure, relax, okay? Si leo, si kesho kutwa.
Okay.
There's gonna be an entire pandemic. So relax, inakuja. Once it gets there, relax, fika bay. Now when you're in that place, I hate how people feel like kuna element ya luck. Luck is not a thing. When luck happens to you, you need to actually put hard work.
Did you have a hard time convincing your parents that this thing is something else? Like what you're doing is something that can, in as a match expectations could provide for you a living, just as JK Watt ingekusort.
Now I consistent talk about mwenye budangu alipea kapatatu. Wale mecheki, wewe utaki shule? Unataka usanii? 1, 2, 3 ishia. So, see, I wouldn't say that nilikuwa na wazazi wangu wako pale ati kina bana boy, my mother's my manager, but I didn't have that element fulani ya mzazi. Mzazi wangu alikuwa anakataa design koza. My dad is a professor of physics. Shout out to the guy. Amekelea kazi, ameshughulikia, of course. At the end of the day, when you put your work in education, itajipa. But they never did understand why niko hivyo. Alikuwa anakataa, alikuwa anakaza. Okay? So inafika place fulani lazima ukaze. You have to put that let me do it hand, okay? And the price is kidogo big, okay? Design kana toka home na kapatatu, unafaa ku understand that si atenda kushine a day, you know, I had 3,000 now, I'm a superstar. No. With the 3 bands, you have to make the best out of it. Mzazi wako kufukuzi jona kudharau, ama ati wewe ni mtu mbaya, ama ati anasema usichukue hizo doa, nakupea doa na kushawaji mama. Una feel uko nje wasa nakupenda, wasa kupendi, enda uko nje. Unapata bana mzazi anakupea 3,000, in real life wasa uko na 200. And if you don't make the best out of 200, Nairobi gossip. Uyo demba na usikili pata juzi alikuwa amebleki kwa nje. So I feel like at the end of the day ukipewa kitu si ati lazima ukue the best out of it, but kitu ni if you believe in something enda nayo, okay?
Mzai wako alikupea 3K akakuchuja home.
Kapatatu.
So hii 3K ulikuwa uende uanze life ama hii 3K ulikuwa uende place fulani?
Ilikuwa ile kadi fulani ya sasa kaunta kuishia ndiko na kapatatu. Kaunta kusoma niko na 100 Gs. Utafanya gani?
Ukachagua kapatatu.
Niko za buda round 2. Fanya aje next time. As in at the end of the day, I'm not saying drop out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying at the end of the day you have to understand like how does your heart feel like, okay? Your heart can feel a lot. So ensure your heart as much as it's feeling, kuna maganjo umefikiria kwa you know what? Naingia pale napiga biz, itakaa hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi in the next 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, itakaa hivi na hivi na hivi.
Okay.
So now when I go back home I'm like, Dad, I'm really upset that you gave me 3 bands and told me get out. But then I made the best out of 3 bands. Unapata? Sasa si upewe kapatatu kwa sijui beze job au unadu.
Umeisema kitu ukakuwa like, hey, I shouldn't have said that.
Nah, I don't feel like I have that situation. Mimi nilemse fulani I've said. Juu I feel like 90% of the time wasok interaction na mimi wana feeling nikaa na ropokwa. Nikaa juu mimi presenter niko na 60,000 words za kuharakisha ziishe. And that's not the case. I usually feel like everything I say, I mean, makes sense. Na ikikuboni ukweli, sipokubona danganya.
Shauri yako.
Ndio. Ikikuboni kwe?
Kuna mimi yako watu enda usikie vibaya huko.
Pereke utakataka huko. Unasikia vibaya juu nakwambia mazee una pesa unatulemea tukulelee mtoto. Kalala is bad. We are not going to do that. Come on.
And by the way, you have very interesting points. Ulisema that's actually one of the points you've made. Mtu asipate mtoto kama ana pesa.
Real talk. Do I need to explain that? Bana hakuna venye understand this.
Separate that from the background ya tuzane tujaze dunia. Unajua? Of course bado wewe ni mtu wa kanisa.
Of course if I'm giving ideas, I'm not God. So kama unanisikiza kama Mungu I feel the earth, maze you need to check on your religion. You are lost, okay? What I would say is this, don't go around, you know, everybody knows how to have kids, You're not going to tell me you went to some guy's house and then drank juice. And then kiasi, you have children. You have to understand that if you have kids, this is a decision, huh? Now, as Kalala, me, I'm sorry about this, but I'm pro contraceptives, right? So don't go be having kids and then talking about it to me at 2K. You socks. I'm not it.
Umeingia kwa industry yenye inakamna like King Kalala ni celeb. I'm sure mtu kama wewe especially ni ngumu hata kutembea tao. Najua wewe ni celeb.
Yana ni uongo, unanipiga.
No, wewe ni celeb.
Nimepiga lap hapo Moyaveni, nimepiga lap dead.
Hapana tambua. But anyway, you know what that means. Like ni aje you're a person who many people listen to. Kuna expectations that come with that. I think I respect your simplicity. You are actually making fun at umebuy viatu so nane.
For real, Bendula Sonane. You don't believe me?
No, I do. I just find it interesting that you have not conformed to isoma ideas of what comes with who a public figure should be. You don't care. Right? Hiyo nayo umesaidikaje kunavigate?
All I would say ni, unajua maseleb, kuna hii sound flani ya muniombe. Niko na shida nimejiletea muniombe. Muniombe. You see, you're selling this idea that you live in a place that you pay 100 bands for a 1 bedroom, you're wearing 19,000 shoes, bwana uko na magari ka 65 downstairs, and you see you're setting yourself up for failure. So mimi nule mseflani bwana wakubwa, mimi nikiomoka pia nao mtajua. Because you see, there's no way I'm going to be no, acha nijibonge. There's no way I'm going to buy a car that is worth 30 million, alafu nimetint mtaniona. Mom, mtaniona.
But see, that's exactly what these people are doing.
So now you see with them. As in, also, I would say with celebrities, tuko na ile gonja flani wasa wanafaa kunicheki, wanijue. Wanakujua nani bwana? Wewe umekula githeri last night hata ujinga. Okay? So they don't have that thing now with me. Mimi sina kelele juu, mimi nataka niomoke ni shine. Mimi nikiomoka mtajua. Walai mtajua. You know how you're told that a rich man with a big car splashed water on poor people? I'm the rich man. Juu siwezi kelea kazi ni daddy alafu ati humility. Hiyo ni matuza wapi? Cannot be me. So now with our Kenyan audience, mse bana doba mbili 2 billion views, unataka kutembelea juu nani bro, tulia. Wewe unakuja interview is your boy, whose boy?
So humility yako ni due to unavoidable circumstances.
Mimi ni victim of circumstances. G-class, nayo mtaona. Guy, nitawatembelea juu ya vichwa.
Hiyo ni expected.
Na hii time nimetapika, I'm sorry niko uchi, okay? As in, like I believe in, there's no such thing as bragging, okay? Kama uko nayo, right? Kama kuna msana anawapigia matope hapo na gari fulani mjaiona, akona dona amna, si yameomoka, nyinyi mnateseka, okay? So when you shine. They are successful, you are not, deal with it. Denial is a river in Egypt. You're poor, they are not. Kalala. Mimi sina, lakini bana nikitao. Hapo kabla baza.
So is it accurate to describe you as a rich woman trapped in a poor woman's body?
Come on. My boy.
Iko sawa?
Yeah, when in my spirit animal.
Oh, me sasa ni your boy.
Come on.
Jesus said, I am not of this world. And the world is about to have the same testimony about you. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm telling you, that there are things that we're about to apply. They are out of this world. Hallelujah.
Enjoy up to 100% asset finance, zero processing fees, and flexible repay options through our trusted partners. Visit any Family Bank branch countrywide to learn more and get started.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we preview the 2025 Renault Grand Koleos SUV. Now bigger and better, but with plenty of technology. Question is, will this be your next SUV? Finally, we review Haval's mid-size crossover, the Jolion. We check out its styling, performance, practicality, and evaluate its value for money proposition against its rivals, the Hyundai Tucson and the Toyota Corolla Cross. Catch this and much more on your Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. only on NTV.
The beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
This show inspired generations with the laughter, the fun and the good times. Brought to you endless talents and changed the lives of many across the country.
If I watch it, I'll still laugh.
This is something we've been waiting for so much.
And above entertainment, it has mingled a lot of cultures. It has enabled things like tribalism to be reduced in our country.
And now, are you ready for the return of Africa's biggest comedy show? Churchill Show, starting this July on NTV.
Put your hands together for
NTV, turning on your world.
Hello and welcome to the show. It's Friday, so you know at the end of the week we have a lot to discuss. A lot has been happening, especially over the past few weeks, and your guess is as good as mine as what will be the biggest topic, and that of course is about our president joining the X Space to converse with us. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Amina Abdirabah. My panelists, hello Daddy Mato, hello Mariam, hello Kwach. How are you guys?
What up?
Kwach, I saw your viral video.
You know? And?
It was, yani, spot on. Accurate. Spot on. I have never related more to a video.
I can't afford to see the same car twice behind me. So.
Hey. Ama mtu
it's what
aduzi
comes
pia.
with it. Ama mtu aduzi nyuma yangu sana.
Yeah.
Ama ukiona gari mzee, but I mean gari mpya number plate mzee uko like
KB lakini ni it's all new.
Yeah. You've packed, even them they've packed. That's when you start freaking out. Kwa sababu hauna lawyer, security, hauna chochote, uko tu na kelele na data bundles. Ndio unaanza kujua venye watu kuchocha online kumbe hawako hapo na wewe.
Let me tell you, the day I knew it was going down. You see, the day when people were going into the parliament.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the parliament.
Yeah.
But I was right outside.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that people were actually inside the parliament because I've gone for Occupy Parliament since Boni started doing them back in 2015. Hatujawai Occupy. Like I didn't even believe it was literal. Yeah. I always knew this is some kind of
metaphor.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. Like let's go outside, let's chill there, they'll get our point, then we'll go home. So maybe I'm there, I'm seeing kidogo people are distributing tea bags. They're distributing, wanatuambia kunyweni chai ya wabunge. Kidogo salt shakers from the parliament. Kidogo I'm seeing TVs going around.
Yeah.
Kidogo I'm seeing
the mess.
Mtu mess. I'm seeing seats. Now it's the seats that got me because hii kiti hii emblem ni ya parliament.
Na zile za vikombe, you know, like so you just carried the cup. You just
alichukua kiti ya wabunge. Kwa hivyo literally literal sense ameoccupy parliament.
What do you guys say? Should they be arrested? I don't think they should be arrested.
I think they should.
Why?
Personally, I don't think they should be prosecuted and given those harsh sentences.
Yeah.
But I am worried about what that will mean. Because you know the only reason why I'm saying people should be prosecuted is not because waliingia. Is because the people who went in were put together with the people who remained out. If you do not do anything about the people who went in, then it remains that they are the same to the people who remained out. But at the same time, I want the judges who will be given these cases in case they will be arrested to also think that in the spur of the moment, bunge yenye tulikuwa tumeenda ndio ile imefunguliwa.
Yeah.
Any one of us, even me, if I knew that people were inside already,
or if you were on the front line, you'd have gone in.
Maybe I would have found myself inside. So that's why I want them to extend mercy as well, but also it paints a bigger picture of goons or no goons.
Yeah, kwanza kuna ule wa Mr. Speaker, sir. I just hope he's safe. I hope he's safe and I hope he's okay. And I mean, yes, maybe a message should be sent, but I don't think they should be arrested. I think it was just, unajua crowd mentality. You had to be there. Yeah. You had to be there to understand.
Yeah.
And again, no one thought we would make it that far.
Yeah.
Even as I saw the pictures and the videos, I was like, Hapa, wako hii streeting, so they've entered. You're sure? I was dumbfounded. But I think, you know, the message was sent.
If someone sent them,
it's
the sender who should be
true. Return to sender.
Arrested.
Quite literally.
Yeah. And also with the same vigor and energy, I think we should start dealing with the corrupt politicians. With the quickness.
Occupied or corrupt.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I think that's exactly what we should do. But Kenyans are getting shout-outs from all over the world. Ghanaians, Tanzania. Kwanza watu wa Uganda wamesema ama tukimalizana na hapa tuende huko. You know,
their prayers have been answered elsewhere.
Yes, tuwasaidie. All right.
Well, over time, our prayers have been answered elsewhere.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
It's our turn.
If you know, you know.
Hey, it's our turn.
Yeah. I mean, Sri Lanka was just... Najwa kuna hizo videos waliona wakasema, I think these guys mean business. I think they just... After parliament, they just did not know anymore. They were like, these Gen Zs, Gen Z. You know, they don't even know how to pronounce it right.
They're like Gen Z X, Gen Z, Gen YZ.
No, I think Pastor Nganga is always trolling. Like, he wants to look like he does not know. But Tanzanians are being now told that nyinyi hamlalamiki. Nyinyi bora Chris Brown amedance komasa va. That's it.
Yes, it's true. But now we've shown the world that, you know, it's possible. And I love the fact that the same energy online was the same energy on ground. And the same energy that people also displayed today on that X space. Now, in a bid to bridge the gap between the government and the youth, President Ruto today was engaging with young people on X space for the better part of the afternoon. And I must say, what will yongea vile wanataka? You know, I really thought maybe they'll be a bit polite. No, it was the same. If you have joined any of the X spaces, it was not any different. Mato, what were your thoughts, and were you on the were you a part of the session?
Yes, no, I tried joining the first one, ika collapse, second one ika collapse, third one ika collapse.
It was being reported. Wakati
ilienda kwa page ya Osama Otero, I think by that time I was already moving from where I was to go somewhere else, so I could not log back in. But my personal opinion, was it something good that the president did? Well, he was trying something. Was the result achieved? I can't exactly say if it was or not. But fact remains, I don't think it will achieve the results intended because, one, of course, he stepped in front of the narrative by doing the press conference before he went for the X space. And with that press conference, alikata watu wengi sana miguu with the kind of measures that he had put in place, which were ideally list of items that had been directly pulled from the demands during the protests. Akasema, so hivi ndivyo tutafanya, hivi ndivyo tutafanya, hivi ndivyo tutafanya. So that wakiingia hapo kwa X, aseme, but I've already done it, see? I've already done it. But then, should it have been a panel between the president and X users? I don't think so. You know why? Because this battle has always been the battle of representation, where Kenyans feel they are not well represented by the people who are meant to represent them. It should have been, I feel, my own personal opinion, it should have been a conversation between members of parliament and their constituents. And then, tusikie ingine between members of parliament and the president. Tusikize the members of parliament kama wana communicate kile watu wanataka kusikia. Because
so
that is what failed.
This has failed.
That is what has failed all these years. Check it. Watch That is the best case scenario. That is how it should be. That is how it should work. Because right now, we are exonerating the responsibility that the members of parliament should have by saying, and then muongea na president wenu direct.
No, but listen, Mato, we do not have a hierarchy. Kenyans do not have a hierarchy of us to the MPs, then MPs to the president. We elect our our MPs directly, the same way we elect our president directly. Yeah. We do not elect our president through representation. True. When he was vying, he did not speak to the MPs to come speak to us. He came to us and spoke to us directly. And if he's learned anything from the protest, is that the people can exercise their power directly when they want to. That's why I'm saying that to me, I think what the end goal of this thing is not to try and achieve miracles. The end goal of this thing is, if 10 people hated the president yesterday, it is 2 less today because of the X space that he has done. Really? He's trying to chip. He's trying to chip away, and I'm telling you guys, it's going to succeed because the moment, the first step the president did, he rejected the finance bill. Ikatuacha, all of us who were in the streets, we were like, okay. I still have more to say, but now what? Still have anger. Yes. And then we released a list of things we want done. Yeah. Then he said, ya kwanza, I am acknowledging that you guys, first of all, there's been wastage in the government. We are going to cut down on that. Then he comes out and says, I'm going to do something about my cabinet. Then he now comes out and says, I realize that members of my team, some of them have not been doing. He in fact pointed out Karen Nyamu specifically and said he's been having sit-downs with her about how she's been going about her duty. So what ideally what he's doing is he realizes that we have anger. So what he's trying to do is I will do anything that will calm you guys down. Nini, I know how you will not come down immediately, but whatever it is I will do. Nini mnataka X space. Oh, mmesema mimi nisi host, nyinyi ndio mnataka host. Okay, sawa, nitakuja kwa ya Osama. And then it was also very important that we talk like that because that's also part of our venting. That tusionge sasa officially. Matter what we're doing is if we send the MPs, they were going to talk cordially. They were not going to express our anger.
Yes.
So that is what was needed today.
We have to take a quick break. Mariam, don't worry. I know you have a lot of anger as well. That's what you wanted to say? Yes. You'll have time after the break. And we want to hear from you as well. Are you one of the two that were, you are no longer upset? I feel like people are angrier. But anyway, we'll talk about that after the break. At The Trend Live is our handle. The hashtag is TTTT. We'll be right back.
Prepare yourself for Oil and Gas Expo Kenya 2024. Kenya's biggest international trade exhibition on oil, gas and petroleum industry. Connect with companies from over 24 countries, local suppliers, manufacturers, importers, and other industry professionals at KICC from 3rd to 5th July, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we preview the 2025 Renault Grand Koleos SUV. Now bigger and better, but there is plenty of technology. Question is, will this be your next SUV? Finally, we review Haval's mid-size crossover, the Jolion. We check out its styling, performance, practicality, and evaluate its value for money proposition against its rivals, the Hyundai Tucson and the Toyota Corolla Cross. Catch this and much more on your Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. only on NTV.
The beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shilling. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
And welcome back. At the Trend Live, the hashtag is TTTT. We'll read your tweets, I promise. Mariam, before the break, I had asked you to pause.
Yes.
You have a lot to say. Kindly, let's tell me what you think about the president being next.
First of all, I do not think that the reaction to the Twitter space and the kind of feedback he got and the questions he got was all that crazy. I found it to be rather like, I don't know whether to say underwhelming or what's the word. I thought it would be much harsher. I was actually scared. I was like, way, the things that people are going to say is going to be insane. So I don't know what kind of background scripting, what kind of mobilizing, whatever happened behind the scenes to make sure that it was somewhat controlled, because I could see people who are requesting to speak, and they were not allowed to, but the questions that were taken, he did the usual, PR answers and trying to get people to calm down. I do agree with Kwach that if there were 10 people who were angry yesterday, today it's 8, and he'll continue doing this. Tomorrow it's 6, tomorrow it's 4, etc. But I think it's important to keep our eye on the ball. A lot of the promises he made are promises that he's made before. Storia could cut down all essential travel, especially international. That's a ban that was effected last year. So I don't know how you're re-banning the ban. So many other things that essentially should not have even been an issue. So I think let's not act like we've been done a great favor, we've been given a huge gift. This is essentially what was supposed to happen from the very beginning. So let's hold him to account, continue exerting that pressure, don't take your foot off the gas, and continue even asking for more. This is not a favor, it is not a gift, it's not a handout, it's actually the work that was supposed to be done from the very beginning.
Sasa tuko pale kwa hata mkinikataza nishaenda Amerika. Nishaenda Amerika. But you know what I keep telling everyone who was either protesting or doing it online or whatever is, for once you have known that your voice can be heard. Yeah. And even if the president and whoever it is that is in the government, because politicians will always be politicians, even if they still play some kind of games, they now know that these kind of games can turn into something.
Yep.
Venye walikata hizo salaries.
They
know. No, that's
14,000. How much?
We can't fall for this, guys. 14K is what compared to, our actual problem.
It's an annual 22 billion.
It is an annual 22 billion, but if they took a 50% pay cut, how much would that translate?
Thank you very much. That's what I was saying. So, don't do, and also for, legislators who had not said anything or were very rude, condescending and disrespectful have now changed their tunes and they're like our children and
our former president.
I love when people get thrown under the bus.
How are you clever all of a sudden? How are you
smart, all of us. It does not happen. This is all politics.
Yeah.
And the people who will fall for it will fall for it. But what I would beg the rest of us is, the spirit we have started is the spirit of accountability. It's not about ati tuko na ubaya na wewe.
Yeah.
It's the spirit of, this is what you have, show us what you did, this is what you said, have you done it?
Yeah.
If you haven't, we'll hold you account by your own yardstick. It's not about ati sisi tumekuambia tuende ufanye. When you were coming into office, you told us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Now we are telling you, we are with you hapo.
Deliver.
Ati land bill mtapitisha na nyuma, tutakuwa hapo. We will read it on TikTok.
I can't wait for 2027.
I honestly, I
Get
also
ready, get ready,
cannot
get ready,
wait. All right, so I have a question to ask you guys. What are your thoughts on the first daughter addressing us?
As
Well,
host.
so remember one of the very first things that I said about these protests. There was a good thing and a bad thing. It was the fact that it was faceless, leaderless.
Tribeless.
Tribeless is the best thing. You see, it's a bad thing or a good thing. Tribeless is the best thing. The fact that it was faceless and leaderless, of course, the universe abhors vacuums, and there will always be something or someone that will want to occupy a vacuum. And that vacuum in this protest is the vacuum of leadership. And everybody wants to be seen or to be known that they are the ones who can say for the others to listen, so that they can
Which is
either,
well and good. So you think
that
we can pick you, the daughter of said person that we are.
This is what a lot of people never understand. That you are married to someone and then your husband has done these things, and then you come, you want to make us feel like you are not part of that
You
family.
understand.
Now, what do you mean? We don't speak. You can never speak from a vacuum.
How?
You first understand your standing, and you understand that if we have an issue with your father,
We have an issue.
by extension,
with all of you. Unless Mato, you are a beneficiary. You cannot make it look like.
Yes.
That the entire family has. I don't understand how, if it's genetic, how can you all be so tone deaf? And if you say, oh, so the president has bad advisors, okay, what's Charlene's excuse? She also has bad advisors. I personally know some of her friends who are qua ground. If those people told her the exact truth and she refused to listen, that's on her. And I think that applies the same to the president. Qua tone deaf is on them. And then again, addressing us as whomst. Why?
That's what I'm saying. You guys think about it this way. If our CEO, right, had his daughter come, it would be so confusing at one of our staff meetings. And she's like, especially Mato, you are failing. This is very, you need to improve.
They will try to detach it and say that
on?
she was not speaking in any official capacity. But what we are saying is,
the
there's no difference. It's the same way. It's the same way when we were talking about fertilizer. And then the first lady came and said, we should pray because even Uganda does not use fertilizer. We do not take it as this is your own person. You're not a private person somewhere.
You're not. You are the first lady. When you say that, it's going to be, you know, on news sites all across the world. They'll say, you know, the first lady of Kenya said, "Sisi tufanye nini? Tuombe."
It's statement from the office of the first lady. Statement from the office of the first daughter. There was an office of the first daughter.
I think for me, what's usually more surprising is when you watch people who are very wealthy try to relate to you and your problems. And now when I think back, you know, when she was saying, "Ata nilikuwa nauza," was it mayai? What was she selling? Eggs. Smoky na mayai. I'm like, babe, I don't think you understand. It doesn't matter what you say or whatever you went through. People cannot afford food. You cannot relate to that. You know what I mean?
The fact that you are the daughter of an MP, a minister, what
from the 90s,
from back then, you
can rich all your life.
If you are selling eggs, fine and good, but you are selling it out of your own volition. I want to be a good hustler. I want to prove to my family I can put things together.
It's almost like rebelling. Like, what can I do to spice things up in this household?
And
what can use my?
But you don't
this is what we were telling the former first lady Hata Pia. It's not just this government alone. Even the former first lady, when she was doing the Beyond Zero, people kept telling her, but Jioni, you are with the person who could make this better.
Mwambie tu auze half of Nakuru. Sijui ni gani kutoka Kwale. Unajua stretch yote. Mwambie tu apeane auze. Alafu tuta, you know, because it's so crazy. It's almost like when Oprah Winfrey and The Rock were asking people for donations. And people are telling them, between the two of you, honestly, you can give out this money. You
it's
don't
about
need to
involving
turn
the
back.
rest. It's not about
and
them. It's about involving everybody.
You
it's
know,
not about them.
It's the same thing. When
Hanifa mtoi like controller ya PS na iko connected. Like ona unafanya kitu, ona unafanya kitu. Just like,
you see, if Charlene does not sell, if she didn't in campus sell those eggs, you think she was sleeping hungry?
No.
And she probably had bodyguards there. They're the ones who are
and if she
helping her
was,
sell.
she wanted to sleep hungry, alikuwa na slim labda. But that's what we are telling her.
Makes
that
no sense.
You cannot speak from a vacuum. If you are a politician, come out and address, because we have had children of politicians be politicians.
Yeah.
I mean, the Right Honorable Raila is son of a politician. The Prime
Musalia
CS
Mudavadi
is a son of a politician. Most of them are sons of politicians.
True.
So if you want to do that, even Nani, even KJ, is a son of a former politician.
Oh,
and
professional videographer.
he came out
designer.
and addressed us like his own political stance.
Yes.
And we had addressed him per that. So if Charlene wants us to address her as per her merit, then we will.
Yeah.
But she needs to come out and say, I am talking now as an aspirant for Starehe constituency.
Yes. Anyway, I think she should also host an X Space. Sasa hiyo sijui kama watu watakuwa na hiyo siwezi sema. Siwezi sema. And those people who kept on asking to speak Kwach, those were the ones who would have said,
That's
you know,
what
probably
spoken the
in
questions that
cursive.
were asked there, I was like,
It's good because he is also the head of state. Again, please, let's just
a bit of decorum and respect as well.
Yes.
But also, what I'd like to say, Charlene,
Quickly.
you're doing very good projects out there. Keep doing them. Wachana na hizi. Don't fall for the sins of your father. Please, just do whatever it is you don't need to speak for him.
I feel like
Wewe
it
kama
doesn't
utaenda prison, kama utatengeneza nini, do those ones. We will remember you for those ones.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But usitake kurili. Maybe I wish ningekuwa tu mtoto wa president. You guys would never even know where I am on this earth. Ati niko hapa. I'm fighting with who? Saying what? For what? And no matter what I say, they will not like me. All right. So now, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, among other legislators, have rejected a salary increase proposed by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission in a recent circular published in the Kenya Gazette. The SRC announced salary raises for various state officers, including members of parliament, governors, cabinet secretaries, and principal secretaries. Mimi, sijawahi ona watu wana kata pesa hivi. Sijawahi. This is the first time. Because usually when we see them on the news, we see them almost fighting. Remember those fights that used to be legendary at City Hall?
Yeah.
You know, because they want more money. We've seen that. But them fighting so hard to say no, I've never seen that. Mariam, what are your thoughts?
The tide has changed and I'm so happy to be here for it, to be a part of it. The pressure we've been applying, whether ulikuwa kwa streets, whether ulikuwa online, whether ulikuwa wherever it is, has been working. Finally, they get to see that, hey, you are here as a representative of the people, not as a mouthpiece for the president. So when the people say we don't want the finance bill and the president says, I want the finance bill, you decide which way to go there because the people who elected you are the ones that hold the power. The social jail that they are in right now is one of my favorite things. If you voted yes, hawezi enda church ovyo ovyo, hawezi ongelesha
at a restaurant, you can't even drive in town.
You can't.
No.
Nasikia wengine wanaomba gari, inconspicuous because you can't have GK plates or any official plates or even a big car. Mtu anaangalia tu Lexus anasema, wewe ni mheshimiwa hapo. That social jail is working. So even the fact that they're now refusing pay rises and acting like, we're good people, etc. Tusikuwe blinded by it. Let's keep focused. Don't ask them to take a pay cut. Say, okay, mmekata hiyo, sawa, cool. You know what would be really nice? Because now we have a 360-something billion shilling deficit. What if you took a pay cut? What if that money went to this XYZ nini nini? And then we find the way forward. I think we keep applying pressure. If the IEBC is going to be reconstituted, what walisema they want to recall their area MPs, msisahau.
Yeah.
Msisahau.
Absolutely.
Always sahau because you're broke every day, Maria. It's a constant reminder.
And these guys, maybe the hypocrisy that I do not want them to fall part of. Some of them are legit, most of them are not. But the hypocrisy is, even when this thing was proposed, it was a long time ago. They're just using the moment to now look like we are not tone deaf, which is also a good thing, that you can't be adding yourselves salaries at the point when we have said we do not even want extra things here and there. But someone said that what should happen? We should now start judging the job group of our MPs and compare them with other professions. Because what is the salary of the highest paid doctor in this country? What is the MP doing that the doctor is not doing?
In a public hospital.
In a public hospital, exactly. That we should start doing comparative. I know the SRC is tasked with this, and I know they have their own processes of how they arrive at salaries. But someone said, for us to be able to know someone is serving for real, we should make the offices less lucrative. so that it doesn't become a matter of life and death of hiring goons and whatnot,
Yes.
that it becomes a matter of service.
Yes. On that note, Coach, actually, I just remembered something.
Madam,
There's a conversation around
We have
CDF.
to
Okay,
take it.
we're taking a big one as a sema.
Haraka,
Very
kama ni
quickly,
fupi.
CDF, I was an interesting Twitter space yesterday about CDF and the fact that Salasi anasema akitolewa kila kitu malon zake anabaki na 1,000. What do you think people are living on? I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I'm saying MPs kazi zao, representation, legislation, oversight. Kazi ya development sasa inafaa kwenda kwa counties. One of the things that makes sure MPs have something to play around, a kitty to walk around, something to give their people, ni CDF. I think that's something we should also talk about in future.
Yeah, we should. I'm just so happy that, you know, we have been talking about these unconstitutional offices. Some of these positions make no sense. We are overrepresented. We are, truly. All these nominated members. Why? We didn't even vote for you. Who nominated you? This is not an award show, please. Can you know, and I see none of our female representatives, or very few of them, really speak up and truly, you know, stand up for women, because there's a lot that we go through, which is why the positions were there to begin with. But I'm just happy we're talking about it. Mariam is right. We just keep the energy. We keep the energy. 2027 haikumbali. Let's take a quick break. Let's find out what's coming up on the news. And then when we get back, we have to talk about this man in Mombasa who used his pistol. Do you think he was justified? I'll tell you the story after the break.
Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
The moment is yours. Seize the day. Changamkia your potential with new Nescafe 3-in-1 Creamy White.
5 questions with Sarah. Hi guys. Wow, Sarah, your skin is glowing. What beauty soap do you use? I use a beauty soap that keeps my skin soft, moisturized, and protected from germs. But Sarah, the beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
This is NTV.
Tonight.
That's really a very regrettable situation. And I apologize on behalf of every official who should have done something about that situation.
Beating an apology out of the president, William Ruto engages with the youth who put up a tough talking show on X Spaces. Also tonight, the writing is on the wall. Who among these will be on Ruto's chopping board? The president announces more austerity measures.
These measures will be followed by changes in government that I will be making shortly.
Plus,
and we are sorry that you had to be the victim that Kenya and the whole world will
will use to define what injustice means.
They paid the ultimate price, and the fruits of their courage have begun to show. Rex Masai, who was among the first youth to die in the anti-finance bill demos, laid to rest.
I will recommend, if there is a snap election, nataka vijana Gen Z mujitokeze muondoe wale, muondoe hao.
And
bahati mbaya wenzetu hawa wawili wamepoteza maisha yao na magunia takriban 166 yakaibwa.
Missing coffee and 2 slain night guards. Armed robbers leave Imenti South residents in mourning.
Dettol Skincare combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Nairobi, how are you? Roro, how are you? Eldoret, hey! Rapiduria Kisumu! Mombasa, how are you? Kericho, hey! Hey!
This show inspired generations with the laughter, the fun and the good times. Brought to you endless talents and changed the lives of many across the country.
If I watch it, I'll still laugh.
This is something we've been waiting for so much.
And above entertainment, it has mingled a lot of cultures. It has enabled things like tribalism to be reduced in our country.
And now, are you ready for the return of Africa's biggest comedy show? Churchill Show, starting this July on NTV.
Put your hands together for
Welcome back, welcome back. Wait, semeni udaku. This close. All right, so now we don't have much time, but Mato, you did not have your stay right before the break. It's your time.
Sasa kidogo tu hivi nisahau kile karibu nilikuwa niseme. Lakini wacha nianze hivi. So, I remember, I think it was during either Kibaki's time, where the decision on salary increment, when members of parliament proposed salary increment, haikuwa inafaa ku happen within their parliament. It was supposed to happen in the next parliament. So, for sure, I don't know if sijui ilitolewa lini alafu ndio SRC ikakuwa introduced, but fact remains, hivyo first of all ndivyo inafaa kukua. Secondly, saa hii wanafaa kupropose salary reduction because it might not apply in their parliament. Hawezi jikata pesa kwa sababu ya zile kama Salasi atabaki na 2,000. Sasa yeye itabidi ametulipa. Inafaa kuanzia kutoka sasa the next parliament. So, and that will help because anybody who will be running for a position in parliament, in the next parliament, will in the 14th, this one is the 13th, yes? In the 14th parliament, will know, siingi huko kupata pesa, ninaingia huko kufanyia watu wangu kazi. Peke yake.
Yes.
Number 2, the issue of overrepresentation has been said so many times. Somebody said something that I really liked. And quickly, if I can run through it. Apparently, we are not supposed to have 47 governors. No. We are supposed to have like 8 governors, which was supposed to be what was the provinces of Kenya, Yokitambo.
Rift Valley,
so Rift Valley, those should be the governors because the size of a county should be, you know, in America, the president and the governor, ile size, yani, you know, a state like Texas, for example, is bigger than the entire Kenya. Alafu kataun kadogo ndio sasa ndio mtu governor Kenya. So we should have 7 to 8 governors, and then who are the members of parliament right now should be the members of county assembly. Yani basically how ndio wanakuwa wanaongea sasa na governor. Alafu sasa wale ambao ni members of county assembly, apparently the proposition that was being made was sasa wanafaa kuwa village elders, wale wa kuongea pale kwa kijiji. Because fact remains. What are you telling me? Listen, because fact remains, the impact of the members of county assembly, especially because of some of them, the qualifications to be members of county assembly. If you look at what they are doing.
I have a question. So senators, are supposed to
senators waende nyumbani.
Oh, waende tu.
Wait,
Waende home.
who
Women rep.
will
Waende
legislate?
home.
Who will legislate without senators?
Waende home.
See, but the MPs are there.
No, but they
The governors should also.
No, the MPs will still do their legislative duty nationally and in the
yes.
counties. No, but also, I agree with you.
Umeona, then hundreds of millions. Like,
Yeah.
where are they traveling to?
I
Like
mean-
now, county ya Nairobi, niliona Morocco. Muliona hizo videos?
Yeah.
Did you guys see them?
Yeah.
Za
You know-
shisha, uliona?
You know,
Wakaenda
there were
Diani.
riots in Nairobi, lakini watu wako Diani. Anyway, that's
yeah.
another issue altogether.
It was like that video that guy posted, we were demonstrating and then people were still playing golf.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
No,
Kenya
it's
is
two
you know,
different
Kuna
worlds.
watu waiwahusu, and also Matu has just called Robert Alai village elder, but that's an issue for another day. A bit of the tweet, Samina, if you allow.
Yes, please.
Yes, Steve Kaggs is saying, among the numerous contributions Kenyan Gen Zs have made to the world, including Occupy Nigeria, which is now on course, they have given Elon Musk free stress testing session on X Space.
Yep.
And then now, about the engagement on X, this is Buffalo Dash. He's saying, I was there. The president sure has a plan for this country. Corruption, however, is fighting back. The president must now eat spinach like Popeye and box out all corrupt people, dead institutions, etc. We love this country and we do not want to go the Rwanda way. The final one. There's someone here who is saying, Ati, I do not have much to say. I just want Mariam anipe namba yake nimsalimie. I wanted to tell this person, nimsalimie has changed meaning in this country. Nimsalimie does not mean what it meant 3 weeks ago.
It's a threat now. Nimsalimie is a threat. Msinisalimie tafadhali. Engineer Misolo says, I support the opinion that we need another space with the CS for Interior, Public Service, Transport, Youth Affairs, and the AG of Police, who by the way has been very quiet like through all of this. Mordecai says, big up to Kenyans. Enyewe walai ulidhani kuna mtu that will say no kuongeza mshahara. No one ever thought about that happening. Kuna Buffalo Dash amesema, I was there on X. The president for sure has a plan for this country. Corruption, however, is fighting back.
Madam, were you not listening?
Oh yeah, I was. You're right.
It's a family thing.
Sorry. It's a family tweet.
It's a family tweet.
Then Mimina.
That's the office of the...
Mimina says, the president didn't say anything in that space except naming his, in quotes, achievements and evading questions on corruption. If he wants people to actually trust him, he should implement all that he said earlier in the press statement.
Yeah. Shout out to...
deficit of trust.
Kamaliza na maombi.
That's the challenge in this country with our leadership. There is a deficit of trust. Ukisema, ukitenga, ukikubaliana, ukijadiliana, fanya.
Why do I feel like a deficit is a big word? Ni a gaping hole of lack of trust. Deficit is like,
and you know, it is only in Africa and non-functional democracies where the whole country can show their lack of trust, and then the leader, instead of stepping aside and saying nimeona mnitaki, he's just saying so ninaweza wa convince aje. We've just seen it. It's happened in the UK. The UK. Watch this.
Watch this.
Literally.
I think it's
hauna kitu ya kusema.
Sina cha kusema. Yani nakwambia sikutaki. Umesikia hizo wimbo and you're like, what are they saying? What do they want? They're so clear. They're shouting it, they've sang it. They're like, no, hawa ni watu wanalipwa hapa Nairobi.
Kama utaiona NTV or na CNN.
Yeah.
They will put it.
It's but I'm glad that, like I said, a lot more people were participating and then they hosted their own space because that's just the kind of people we are. Like, all right, now let's talk about this story from Mombasa. Police have arrested a man who allegedly shot protesters in Mombasa on Tuesday. The incident took place around 1:30 in the afternoon in the Ganjoni area of Mombasa, where a shop owner allegedly shot at a crowd protesting outside his shop. I don't think they were protesting. Do we have the video? Can we play the video? All right, so we don't have the video, and I wish we did, and please go find it online so that you can see it. But they didn't look like protesters. They did not. They were goons.
The story was they were goons, according to, wale ambao walikuwa karibu na hiyo situation. And then the reason was, it was stated that they actually decided to vandalize his property was because he eventually shot at one of the goons stroke protesters.
Yes.
Which I wonder, where is the chicken and the egg?
Yeah.
Did he shoot because they were trying to vandalize?
Yes.
Or
Did they
vandalize and then he shot? You know?
I think there's always wisdom. What I would say is wisdom. When we were going to occupy Parliament, I saw something about police officers running away and they were holding guns. And sometimes I also thank them for protecting lives. And even if you're a property owner and you have the gun, these people can outrun you.
So sorry, Kwach. All right, so the video, we have the video. We can play the video. Yes, carry on, carry on.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. These people can outrun you because the gun, uko na bullets ngapi ndani ya hiyo gun. And so for you to avoid, guns in fact are usually used to take you to safety. It's not your duty to protect that premise. It's yours to take you to safety. If there are a threat to your life, tumia hiyo gun ukikimbia ukiingia kwa gari. Then the moment umeshaingia, now the police to come and protect your property. And the only issue I had during this time as someone who was also in the streets is I feel like the government committed a crime by omission, not by commission. That they let us know what it would look like if the police are not in the streets. So that it created a haven. It's created a nice space for goons to now come in, and people who are business competitors, people who are, you know, people who are just jealous about your business, they can now come in, thieves and things like that, they can now come in and soup all your things.
Yeah.
So the government should have protected even the shop owners against the goons that were within the protesters.
Yeah. I think it was one of the biggest double standards we saw, that when people were peacefully protesting, it was tear gas canister after canister after canister,
and
bullet after bullet, rubber, reel, all of that. Alafu, the time when it's actual goons on the streets and it's time to protect people's businesses, this guy has to take out his gun or feels like he has to take out his gun. Of course, you're right, Kwach, it could have gone the other way. And I don't really feel like those were protesters. Those were definitely goons. Hapa pia in Nairobi, we saw there was a lady who, she said, nimekam maandamano, but vile nimeona what's happening here, I'm helping guys protect their businesses. What walichukua rungu to protect their businesses? Because the police were nowhere to be found. You're right. I think it was them saying, look at these disorderly protests, look at like the anarchy that we're getting into because of these protests. And no, that message was not received. What was received is you're actively choosing not to do your work, which is to protect the people and our property.
You see now, but that's why they start believing those allegations, you know, that they were paid by certain politicians. Because what do you mean now that they're...
Allegations.
We are
forgetting. We cannot forget that it was in this same Kenya where after Raila Odinga lost the elections and there were maandamanos, there were people who specifically went to his business and to Uhuru's business. We are forgetting this is the same government in which that happened. Alafu tunataka kujifanya ni allegedly. Watu wanaongea na video. Wanasema wao wenyewe. Mimi nilipwe kwa sababu niliambiwa niende nikadisrupt. Ndio sababu mapolisi wali withdraw kidogo. Alafu sijalipwa haki yangu. Tunakujia pesa yetu. So all this I am saying out of emotion, but it is still alleged.
Anyway, I feel so bad for any business owner out there who, you know, woke up, I think it was on Friday morning, counting losses. There's, you know, the butter shop, hapa tu karibu nation, I saw, yani walifagia. Walibeba kila kitu, not even, I don't think walibeba hata socks. You know, so
electronic store chini Kimathi, almost everything.
So many people
even
suffered
the
losses.
fashion house on Instagram, like they suffered. And also the other thing, as I extend my sympathies to them, and I hope they'll get back. I would also want to say that in cases of crisis, this is any crisis, see protest peke. Please, si lazima ufungue. I know businesses. No. Listen. I know. I'm saying there were those. Many of them were stolen hata kama zimefungwa. But I'm talking to the people who are risking their lives. Akifunga. When you see that things are the way they are, sometimes, of course, it also comes back to lazima nisipofungua na nifunge rent itatoka wapi. But all this to say that your life is more important. Also, I'm addressing the old mzee who was protecting his business. That sometimes your life is more important than the business.
Apana Kwach, unajua saa zingine unafeel kama my life is my business though. Look, did you see the desperation as he was trying to point his gun wondering, because it is in self-defense and the government will not come through for you. No one is going to you sometimes even insurance wanakwambia oh but
wanakuruka.
Yeah, wanakuruka.
Were you insured against protests? No, you weren't.
The reason why people are protesting, the reason why people are not only even on X Space but even on TikTok, every atasai there is a live, there are like 10 lives and everyone is talking about this. It's because they just don't have money. So that man is also wondering sasa hawa watu wakikuja na walienda maskini. I don't know if you guys saw it. You know, and
well, they eventually burned the place down, ransacked, wengine wakatoka na chakula.
Where were the cops?
And that's what I'm saying. It was a crime by omission. Like they let it happen. You know, there's a way you can let something happen.
They wanted it to happen. But at what cause? It's almost to teach us a lesson. To teach who though? That's what I'm saying. That man doesn't even look like he was protesting.
And the beauty of Kenya right now is we can see through it.
Yeah.
So that whatever it is
and
that
we can say it, not just see. We see it and we say it.
And that's the hardest line the president is facing. That now the young people of today's generation,
we can see through
wanajua kipindi. They know what kipindi is. They know, and the problem also is because they have been involved in these vipindis before. So now,
even you remember when the DP and the president looked like they had issues, we were like, "Isi ni season 1, episode 14, ama isi jaiona before."
So
you know, almost down to the same words.
These people have watched House of Cards. These people have
read what's that power book?
They live House of Cards. So they know that when you try to do those vipindi things, maybe they're tegemering our mothers and fathers who are in shags to believe them and start saying that hizo protest zenyu ndio zinaharibu biashara za watu.
But hata wao wamechanuka sana.
Wamechanuka na tulisema wenye hawajachanuka tunaficha ID. The country is moving forward. Hakuna mtu wetu. They should have they should have KPIs. They should yani ikweni kama biashara. Well, like Kwach, I can see here kazi tu ni kuiba. Umeiba tu, umeiba. And you know, I love the way these days they put you know, side by side images. I saw honorable, we said no more honorables, but anyway, we saw one politician on the side akiwa na pesa hapo kwa meza, and then on the side is a picture of a student trying to do homework with no electricity. I love that we're just seeing it
That's
for what
where
it
we're
is.
going.
Ile infographic ya Kenyan GDP per capita versus your highest paid salary. No, actually your average lawmaker salary. That graph, but it was to the moon.
Well, what about the one for the president's belt, Murkomen's watch? Sudi akasema hata unajua nini ama nitoke hiki.
Guys, this is now the
we have to take
Casio.
The show is
Casio
over.
is there.
The show is over, guys. Thank you so much. Mato akona lawyer, ndokomana. Tunaona. Thank you so much. The family of Mariam and Kwach, we appreciate you both. The office of the family on the show. My name is Amina Abdurrahman. Time now for the news. We will catch you at 10 p.m. for The Trend. Good evening. Bye.
So they tried to get him on arrival. That day was a field day for Njenga and Lumumba.
Hizo bisto ni mimi nilikwenda kuchukua mpakani ili niletee akina Njenga.
The fellow who shot is ex-special branch.
A man's life was cut short by the assassin's bullet on that fateful Saturday of July 5th, 1969.
The body in the coffin, out of that shout, began to shed tears. They told Boya's mother. She came and hit on the coffin. Wachana na wao.
In fact, we wanted to see him come back to life, but he did not.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we preview the 2025 Renault Grand Koleos SUV. Now bigger and better, but with plenty of technology. Question is, will this be your next SUV? Finally, we review Haval's mid-size crossover, the Jolion. We check out its styling, performance, practicality, and evaluate its value for money proposition against its rivals, the Hyundai Tucson and the Toyota Corolla Cross. Catch this and much more on your Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. only on NTV.
The beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Prepare yourself for Auto Expo Kenya 2024. Kenya's biggest international trade exhibition on automotive and spare parts industry. Connect with companies from over 26 countries, local suppliers, manufacturers, importers, and other industry professionals. At KICC from 3rd to 5th July, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
This is NTV.
It's the 5th day of July 2024. Thanks for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition on this day. That something historic happened on the online space, having the president having an engagement with youth and other people who are on the X space. We have details on that and more on our broadcast. Let's kick off with the highlights.
That's really a very regrettable situation. And I apologize on behalf of every official who should have done something about that situation.
Beating an apology out of the president, William Ruto engages with the youth who put up a tough talking show on X Spaces. Also tonight, the writing is on the wall. Who among these will be on Ruto's chopping board? The president announces more austerity measures.
These measures will be followed by changes in government that I will be making shortly.
Plus,
And we are sorry that you had to be the victim that Kenya and the whole world will use to define what injustice means.
they paid the ultimate price and the fruits of their courage have begun to show. Rex Masai, who was among the first youth to die in the anti-finance bill demos, laid to rest.
I will recommend if there is a snap election, nataka vijana Gen Z mujitokeze muondoe wale, muondoe hao.
And
bahati mbaya wenzetu hawa wawili wamepoteza maisha yao na magunia takriban 166 yakaibwa.
Missing coffee and 2 slain night guards. Armed robbers leave Imenti South residents in mourning.
Live from Nation Center, this is Weekend Edition with Dan Mwangi.
Welcome to the broadcast. Alongside me on this broadcast on sign language interpretation is David Agondoa. President William Ruto has promised that action will be taken against Isaiah Ndumba Murangiri, one of the police officers accused of brutalizing Kenyans during the anti-finance bill 2024 protests 2 weeks ago. In an X-Space conversation this Friday, the president avoided acknowledging police responsibility in the killings and instead only referred to his promises that such killings would not happen under his reign. However, Kenyans pushed him to talk about Murangiri's case in particular, among other issues. Our senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja kicks off our broadcast.
from my good sister who said,
although his speech and responses largely failed to acknowledge that the killings of 41 Kenyans were attributable to police officers during the protests and completely avoided naming the actions that would be taken against those officers, President William Ruto could not avoid the issue of Isaiah Ndumba Murangiri, a police officer accused of brutal acts against a section of Kenyans in the protests. Those on the X space pushing the head of state to, in particular, speak about the officer and his alleged actions.
Rogue police officer that you say is roaming, that is something that I would want to get exact details of who this is, and I can tell you that we will apprehend him. Please forward the picture and photos to me, to Hussein, my spokesman here, and also I would appreciate if you can send it to also my inbox if you can, or if you can send it to the Independent Police Oversight Authority. We will deal with it.
Earlier, President Ruto's major focus on a killing appeared to be that of 12-year-old Kennedy Onyango, whom he maintains was killed by a goon and not the police, but the insistence by Kenyans making him not only comment on Murangiri, but also on other acts by the police, such as abductions.
The police have clear rules of how to arrest citizens if they have to arrest citizens. There is a clearly stipulated procedure on how that is done. And if anything is done outside the procedure, then it is illegal and it is punishable. So when the police arrest somebody, they must declare to that person that they are policemen, they are arresting this person for this and that and that and that, and they take him to a place that is known.
But the conversation went beyond police brutality against the protesters. Issues to do with runaway corruption in government, as well as malfeasance, were also raised.
So, Mr. President, if you are going to give us those people who are incompetent, then we are totally doomed. You know, when we elected you as the president, normally they say, you set a thief to catch a thief. But this time round, when we elected you, Mr. President, that you can help us now catch those people who are corrupt in this nation, you're just there laughing with them.
The president choosing to protect his government from the stain of major corruption scandals, including the fake fertilizer saga.
Of the fertilizer that we supply to the Kenyan public, almost 6 million bags, 20,000 bags were the ones with a challenge. We isolated the 20,000 bags. It is not even 1% of the fertilizer that we supplied to the Kenyan public. I do not want an impression to be created as though the fertilizer we supply to the people of Kenya in millions had any challenge.
Even despite his earlier address to the nation promising a shake-up in government, Kenyans on the X space were adamant on a complete dissolution of the cabinet as opposed to a reshuffle.
Mr. William Ruto, your accountability is zero. I'm quite dismayed, honestly, because you came here to answer to the citizens, but you're taking zero accountability for it.
The forum was attended by close to 200,000 Kenyans on X, who put up a no-holds-barred engagement with the head of state, accusing him of dishonesty and lacking empathy. They also blasted him for his numerous trips abroad, even as they demanded for more actions from his government. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
President William Ruto has listed a raft of decisions he made in seeking to fix the current situation that the country is in, all in response to the public uproar over the management of public resources. Now, let's take a look at the breakdown of his commitments. First and foremost, the head of state gave context pointing out that the Finance Bill 2024 was meant to raise 346 billion shillings, but the budget cut proposal that he's given to the National Assembly is to have them cut out 177 billion shillings. And after that, he said that the balance, which is 169 billion, is what would be borrowed. And he also pointed out that the fiscal deficit has now risen from 3.3% to just over 4.6%. Now, however, some of the same borrowing will be used to protect funding of critical government services as follows, he said: hiring junior secondary school teachers, hiring medical interns, funding milk stabilization program for dairy farmers, and reviving stalled roads program. Now, further to align government expenditures with the budgetary implications of the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024. First of all, before we even get there, we just continue the list of what the borrowed money is meant to fund. It will also fund retaining fertilizer subsidy program, settling debts owed to coffee farmers, and the last one on the list is capitalizing the coffee cherry fund. Now, as I was saying, to align government expenditures with the budgetary implications of the withdrawal of the Finance Bill, the President has announced a number of actions to aid in realization of the new budget. So the planned steps in austerity: one is dissolving 47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions. What this means is that he says that it is going to eliminate their operational and maintenance costs, and the functions will be integrated into the respective line ministries. And aside from that, the dissolution of these 47 state corporations will also mean that still the next page, if we could just move to the next page. Thank you. Staff will be transferred to ministries and other state agencies, which some have asked where the savings will come from in that case, and we look to further explanation as we proceed. And aside from that, we also have the decision to fill the position of Chief Administrative Secretaries, or CASs, has been suspended, something he had also mentioned during the interview with the mainstream media on Sunday night, and the number of advisors in government to be reduced by 50%. And one of the people on X who joined the discussion had actually said they want to know who, because they feel that some of the advisors are part of the problem. So it's not just about cutting down in terms of numbers, but also individuals. Now, what else has been planned for austerity? Removal of budget lines for the office of the First Lady, the office of the spouse of the Deputy President, and office of the spouse of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, all of which have been hot potatoes in regards to the calls for changes in regards to the spending and the budget allocations. Also, in austerity, confidential budgets in various executive offices, including the President's office, to be removed. The budget for renovations across government reduced by 50%. Public servants who attain the retirement age of 60 years to immediately proceed on retirement, and there shall be no extensions on the same. Also, the purchase of new motor vehicles by government suspended for 12 months, except for security agencies. All non-essential travel by state and public officers has been suspended, and no state officer or public servant shall participate in public contributions or harambes henceforth. And the Auditor General has been asked to come up with regulations that are going to guide how there can be matters of philanthropy and the likes. Now, hundreds of youth, mainly those in the Gen Z category, turned up in numbers for the final send-off of their colleague, Rex Kanyike Masai, in the county of Machakos. Rex was the first victim of a violent police response to anti-tax protests. The 29-year-old was with his friend when he was hit by a police bullet on the 20th of June. And as NTV's Roso Angoi reports, leaders who attended the burial are demanding justice for Rex, along with other fallen youth in various parts of the country.
Rex Kanyike Masai was laid to rest on Friday in Kamuthanga, Machakos County. Hundreds of youth known as Gen Zs turned up in large numbers to pay their last respects to Rex, whose life was suddenly cut short by a police bullet during the anti-finance bill protest in Nairobi. The vibrant generation in giving their last tributes to the late Masai, whom they termed together with other Gen Zs who died during the anti-government demos as Kenyan heroes who are fighting for their rights.
And we are sorry that you had to be the victim that Kenya and the whole world will use to define what injustice means.
Calls to ensure Rex, together with others, get justice rented the air, with Gen Zs vowing not to relent in their push to have better leadership in the country.
He was the first one to die during the peaceful protest, and Kenya will never be the same again.
His blood will water the tree of democracy, civil liberties, and human rights in this country.
Political leaders present, led by Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa, demanded justice for Rex, along with other slain Gen Zs countrywide.
Tulijaribu mwaka jana Zakayo ashuke, tukafanya maandamano, lakini ninyi mmefaulu kuambia Zakayo afanye nini? Ashuke. Na bili yake finance bill ifanye nini? Ishuke.
If there is a snap election, Nataka vijana Gen Z mjitokeze, muondoe wale, muondoe hao, muondoe hawa.
Na Ruto namjua zaidi, ni kama ndugu yangu, lakini nimesema ni mwongo na hafai kuongoza taifa letu la Kenya.
Police said they are investigating circumstances under which Rex was shot and killed.
Tunataka kabla wiki ijayo huyo askari akuwa amefikishwa kotini kujibu mashtaka. Tunataka huyo kamanda wa polisi anaitwa Adamson Bungei na yeye ajikute kizimbani akijibu mashtaka kwa ajili ya damu ya watu kama Rex. Bwana Koome, na wewe pia lazima haki ikufikie, uende mahakamani na wewe ufungwe.
The Independent Policing Oversight Authority said it has already instituted investigations into the fatal shooting. Director of Public Prosecution Renson Igonga has directed the authority to submit a report of the investigations within 21 days. Rozongoi, NTV.
CS Moses Kuria was forced to cut short his speech and leave the funeral of politician Maina Wanjigi in Nyeri County after some mourners started chanting anti-Ruto slogans. This comes even as Kenyans want President Ruto to reduce the number of cabinet secretaries, especially those who are believed to be corrupt. Meanwhile, Azimio leader Raila Odinga has lauded Gen Z and other youth for their tenacity to come out and protest against the controversial finance bill of 2024. NTV's Margaret Kimathi has that story.
Maji. We're talking about.
A tense atmosphere erupted after a section of mourners began to chant anti-Ruto slogans, while CS Moses Kuria took to the podium to make his speech at the funeral of veteran politician Maina Wanjigi. Despite initial attempts to continue, the disruption caused by the escalating chants made it impossible for Kuria to proceed, forcing him to abruptly end his speech. The security personnel swiftly intervened to ensure Kuria's safety, escorting him away from the venue. The chants, aimed at President William Ruto, underscored underlying political tensions within Mount Kenya region.
Gen Z!
On his part, Azimio leader Raila Odinga lauded Gen Z for their tenacity in protesting against the controversial finance bill of 2024. Raila, who has been leading the country in demonstrations to pressure the government to lower the high cost of living, further called on the church to support the youth. Raila also warned leaders against betraying their electorates.
Kenya needs a cardinal sin, so that when our people are going to the streets, the young people, let the bishops wear your gowns, the nuns, and walk with our young people so that they're not killed. Baba, kaa nyumbani. Umefanya ya kutosha. Tutaendelea. Niko nyumbani, lakini niko behind you. When children of this country come out in their large numbers to say something is wrong, the church itself should stand with these children.
At the same time, Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga officially welcomed the Azimio leader to the mountain.
I want to tell you that you are now in the mountain. This is where the mountain is. Na baba karibu kwa mlima. Last time where ulitafuta watu hawajui mlima. Iko watu wanaelewa hii mlima vizuri. Come and we see that.
The former cabinet minister Maina Wanjigi died on June 28th at the age of 93 while receiving treatment at the Nairobi hospital. He was laid to rest at his home in Kianjoya Estate, Nyeri Town constituency. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
May Rex rest in peace as we continue the coverage of the different concerns around the anti-government protest and anti-tax protest. Take a short break on NTV Weekend Edition. We have more after this. Stay with us.
nothing should come in the way of how you enjoy the game. So ukibet, bet responsibly. Bet na amount unaweza afford. If you need help, speak to a counselor today. Call 0800 724 835.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
Dettol Skincare combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Nyinyi ndio mlikuwa washindi wetu wa shamba ya kwanza.
Ni kweli.
Tumepitia ofisi za Landa ya registrar na this is your official title deed.
Wagoi jiro ndio hiyo. Mimi ndiye nilikuwa mshindi wa shamba moja ya kwanza ya Rotomoto huko Mara. Sasa leo nimeitwa hapa wanikabidhi title yangu original. Na ndio hii kabisa.
Christopher?
Yes.
Nyinyi ndio washindi wa nini?
Wa samba.
And I'm here to present hiyo.
Sawa.
Sasa hiyo shamba ni yenu official.
Christopher Mudhoya Ntoidhiri. Asante sana. Nimepokea ile kitu ambayo nilikuwa nangojea. Rotomoto ni ya ukweli kabisa.
Kwako wewe bado ushindi huko. 30th of June mwezi huu namtangaza mshindi wa Probox. Cheza lucky game.
Cheza Loto Moto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramton Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Welcome back to the weekend edition. Now, an impending cabinet reshuffle is underway after President William Ruto alluded to making changes in his government, with his Friday afternoon public address receiving mixed reactions from Kenyans across the country, as Bridget Ngana now reports.
In a move that seemingly set the tone for his first X Spaces conversation with Kenyans, President William Ruto yielded more ground, accepting to implement some of the demands from a 3-week anti-tax protest that morphed into anti-government demonstrations.
I have today appointed an independent task force to carry out a comprehensive forensic audit over our public debt and report to us in the next 3 months.
Bado sisi tunangoja shoka. Hatujaona shoka. Amekuwa mwoga hapo. Na nataka tumwambie rais hapa hakuna kupembelea sana. Hatutaki vijana tena waruti barabara.
Na unajua mambo imeenda kombo kwa sababu president mwenyewe isipokuwa ni Gen Z wameamuka, yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anatupeleka kwa shimo.
The collapsing of 47 parastatals, the removal of budgets to the offices of the First Lady, the Deputy First Lady, and that of the wife of the Prime Cabinet Secretary were some of the thorny issues in the public outcry against the 2024 Finance Bill. But the public wants more austerity measures across government.
47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions will be dissolved, resulting in the elimination of their operational and maintenance costs.
Sasa asitudanganye tu ile kuona ati amefanya hivi na hatujaona ukweli.
Ile kitu tunataka kusikia ni serikali ya Kenya kwa hizi fedha ambazo wanachukua wanafanya nini kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wanapata kazi.
Some Kenyans, however, feel that the president's response is too little, too late.
Ile pesa umetumia kwenda nje. Wendi na milioni 10, unaenda na milioni 100. Hao matakitali si wangelipwa.
Tunataka mawaziri iweze kufikia hata 14, 15 kwa sababu ndio gharama iweze kurudi chini.
Maana laiti angelisikiza haya mambo yote ambao wanafanya sahihi, angekuwa amefanya pale nyuma, hatungo tumefika mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo kuna kasoro mahali fulani.
Kenyans are calling on the president to adhere to the tenets of the constitution in the changes he is proposing, as well as being accountable to the promises he made. Bridget Ghana, NTV, Nakuru.
Human rights groups led by Amnesty International Kenya and the Kenya Human Rights Commission have called for a cessation in police hostilities against unarmed protesters. The lobbyists say that at least 41 people have been killed during anti-government protests across the country. 32 people were abducted by the police, 361 others injured, and 674 arrested, they add. The rights groups have also called on Interior CS Kithure Kindiki to ensure the police do not engage in extrajudicial measures during crackdowns on protests.
By the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, and Minister for Interior, that all individuals, including police officers, involved in unlawful killings and facilitating and financing goons and criminal activities during the protests will be held accountable. In this regard, we wish to emphasize that the Constitution vests the ultimate responsibility for preventing violations of the right to protest and related rights by its own agents and third parties, investigations and prosecutions of violators, and provision of effective remedies to victims on the state. Furthermore, in line with the principle of superior command responsibility, security officers in command positions should be held individually liable if they knew or ought to have known that their subordinates were involved in or planned to use unlawful force.
The present crisis presents an opportunity to change the course. It is a defining moment to realign the government's policies and initiate tangible and coherent measures to ensure that all state organs, executive, legislature, and judiciary, work towards the fulfillment of the 2010 Constitution are accountable to the citizens of Kenya. We remain at service to the people of Kenya and in solidarity in the fight for accountability and good governance and justice.
Justice, be our shield and defender. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, has cautioned the government against reducing the number of intern teachers eligible for conversion to permanent and pensionable positions. Deputy Secretary General of KUPPET, Moses Ndurima, says that the union will not accept any excuses regarding reduced revenue following the passage, or rather the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024.
We can call for the strike. Teachers will go on strike to go and look for their money. Teachers can go to court. Teachers also have a right, and the children have a right. Where the rights of the children end, the rights of teachers begin. So none should interfere with the other.
We want to advise that if we are serious with education, let us do away with those mileage claims for members of parliament and pay teachers, especially the intern teachers who have been earning only 17,000, surely. What are we talking about?
Said like a true teacher. We take a short break on NTV Weekend Edition. We'll be back with the business news after this. Stay with us.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
Enjoy up to 100% asset finance, zero processing fees, and flexible repay options through our trusted partners. Visit any Family Bank branch countrywide to learn more and get started.
Umecheza Loto Moto na umewasaidia wengi. Unachangia pakubwa na zawadi kibao zinakungoja. Na kukupa ushindi wako ndio raha yetu. Watende mema.
It's God sent.
Thank you so much. Na sasa kwenye star 570 hash cheza lucky game ujipatie entry ticket ya kuingia kwenye draw ya kujishindia moja kati ya magari haya mawili, ikiwa ni Probox nayo na Demio nayo nayo tushinde.
Azidi tu kuendelea kumbariki.
Kwenye star 570 hash, wewe si mshindi tu, wewe ni tegemeo kubwa.
Let's get down to business, and investors in government securities have turned their back on bonds in favor of short-term treasury bills amid the lack of clarity on the domestic borrowing target for the new financial year. Investors only bid 487.5 million shillings on the tap sale of a reopened two-year paper this week against a target of 20 billion shillings by the Central Bank of Kenya. The investors are pricing in the likelihood of interest rates on bonds rising further in coming months in anticipation that the government will be under pressure to raise its domestic borrowing target from the approved 263 billion shillings following the withdrawal of the Finance Bill of 2024. A higher domestic borrowing target will give investors the leeway to aggressively bid on bonds, securing greater returns in contrast to current interest rates of about 16% on long-term paper. Nearly 1 million taxpayers failed to file their returns with the Kenya Revenue Authority by the end of June 30th, 2024 deadline, exposing them to penalties by the taxman. Official data from KRA shows that 8,046,029 Kenyan taxpayers had filed their returns by 30th June against a targeted 9 million. The number is 1.7 million more compared to those who filed their returns on time last year. Failure to meet the tax filing deadline is an offense that attracts a 2,000 shilling fine or 5% of the individual's tax bill, whichever is higher. Companies pay a 10,000 shillings penalty or 5% of the tax payable in the year the return captures, or whichever is higher. A section of South Sudan traders is likely to lose its imported cargo through the port of Mombasa after they were swindled millions of shillings of money by some unregistered clearing and forwarding agents, leading to the auction of their goods. The government has already moved in trying to save the traders whose goods have been gazetted for auction in Kenya by the end of this month by the Kenya Revenue Authority for overstaying at the yard. In a gazette notice, the KRA Customs and Border Control Department's Chief Manager, George Adui, announced the auctioning of 85 lots of cargo destined for South Sudan and some belonging to Kenyan traders which have overstayed in different warehouses in Nairobi. Now, the East African Legislative Assembly, EALA, and Swahili experts are pushing for Kiswahili language to be recognized globally. The push is set to reduce Africa's reliance on foreign languages in official communication and further the recognition of the spread of Kiswahili. Fatma Bugu has more.
Speaking during the third celebration of World Swahili Day and the second international conference of the East Africa Swahili Commission in Mombasa, stakeholders emphasized on the need to promote Swahili as a vehicle for peace and strengthening multiculturalism.
For us to achieve regional cooperation, unity and socio-economic development, and to prosper as a community, it is necessary that we strengthen our interactions by use of common language.
The stakeholders are now pushing for recognition of Swahili as one of the official languages of the community to deepen and widen the integration process and to increase the participation of the people of East Africa in the affairs of the community as well as promote African culture.
I invite my ministers, honorable ministers, everyone who is here to join me in fighting to get this treaty adapted and reconsidered and to get Kiswahili as an official language in Yala.
Tuwe na mapendekezo ya kwamba sheria zinazotumika na sera zinazoundwa zikaweze kuandikwa na kuchapishwa katika lugha ya Kiswahili.
Already some members have adopted strategies to help develop Swahili language through creating awareness and training in schools.
Kila nchi mwanachama inatakiwa iwe na baraza la kuratibu hizo shughuli, wawe na vyama vya Kiswahili, wawe na taasisi mbalimbali ambazo zinakuza Kiswahili. Kwa hivyo nikisema katika matumizi na ukuzaji na utekelezaji, kuna nchi zaidi ya 6 ambazo zimeshaweka mikakati.
They are calling for substantial financial investment in Swahili publications and to strengthen the interest and use of Swahili among young people through social media programs, music and cultural activities with a focus on peace.
Lugha ya Kiswahili ina nafasi kubwa sana katika kupanda ile mbegu mapema katika mfumo wetu wa elimu. Ina maana kwamba lazima tubadilishe mitaala ya Kiswahili na tuanze kuangalia ni kwa namna gani tunaingiza fikra za uvumilivu, fikra za kuheshimiana, fikra za uzalendo, fikra za uana Afrika Mashariki, nje ya fikra za ukabila.
World Swahili Day celebrations will climax on Sunday with various festivities organized to promote and celebrate Kiswahili as a national language. Fatma Bugu, NTV, Mombasa.
And on that Swahili note, we end our English bulletin tonight and for this week. Thank you for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition. Myself and David Agondoa, who has been on sign language interpretation tonight. And after this break, we shall be taking you to News Court. And they say the more things change, the more they stay the same. We have been having people who've been speaking truth to power, as we've seen in the past few weeks, but it's been happening over years. And so on this bit, we remember that we ran a show on the 31st of March 2023, just to show you how things remain the same, of how artists speak truth to power using their art, and do the powers that be listen. It seems this time it's different, so we're going to be having a rerun of that episode of News Court after this break. Have yourselves a good night. Dan Mwangi is my name.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy fresh fried vegetable oil 5 liters at 10.49 shillings. The white rice 5 kg at 10.99 shillings. Tangerine import at 2.99 shillings. Potato loose at 69 shillings per kg. And Ramtom Zosha 10 kg at 69,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Tucheze, tusaidie na tushinde. Na ushindi wako kwenye draw ya 30th of this month ni promote nayo au 750,000 Kenyan shillings. Hustling, dial *570 hash. Chagua option number 4. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde.
5 questions with Sarah. Hi guys. Wow, Sarah, your skin is glowing. What beauty soap do you use? I use a beauty soap that keeps my skin soft, moisturized, and protected from germs. But Sarah, the beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection.
Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Robert Matumbai, alias Roba or Otero, is a pioneer Kenyan hip-hop artist and a member of the legendary group Kalamashaka as well as Ukoflani. He and his team have written and rapped socially conscious music, and he shall be sharing his views on the matter before this court. Prince Ambassa Mandela, real name Nelson Mandela Akelo, is a singer, songwriter and performer. He is the former lead singer of Sarabi Band and writes plus performs socially conscious music, and will be giving us his position on the matter before us. Brian Omondi, or Brian Silwes, is an urban spoken word artist. He's a songwriter and a human rights advocate. He shall be speaking to this court on the matter of speaking truth to power. Mohamed Hamis is a graffiti artist who is part of a group that does graffiti and art in Mombasa. He has done murals in various parts of the coastal city and uses art to address societal issues.
John JJ Njumbi is a creative director at Chatterbox Film and Theatre. He is a play and film director whose passion for social integrity is evident in the products he has. He is currently working on a film called It's a Free Country, for which he is crowdfunding. He set some lights, camera and action for the matter before the court.
My lords and ladyships, your court of public interest is in session. Now, the country is in a space where many are having complaints and concerns over the state of leadership, and this is not limited to the government, but largely on the overall political class. And there are people who are very vocal about it, even fashioning their work around it. For instance, we have performing artists, musicians, or even visual artists who are speaking truth to power. Justice Wanjiko, let's sample a bit of what this court is set to hear about.
Ya majambasi, manoya majambasi, na si vijana wa ghetto majambasi. Weni mali ya umma, uongo na mkono moja kwa Bible, kwea na mitambo ya chuma kwa parliament na nyumba za kuombewa, unatolewa ushuru na pisto kwa mdomo kwa jina la Kristo.
Bala, nashindwa, nikimbilie nani? Jambazi, hapana. Polisi, hapana. Watanitia bingo hata bila sababu. Maisha ni magumu. Maisha kule tuye mazimu kutumia MIC ingawa tuko chini bado tunatumaini. Sikiza kama maisha si sinema, nitende mema bado trigger happy score tanyangusha. Anakaa amesurrender, ametokea wewe usi kushoot nyi mkamlenga 19 kwenye tinga, eti ajali, sisi si wajinga.
Wajinga nyinyi. Swali, stadium ziko wapi? Kazi ziko wapi? Ile manifesto lini wow nayo iko wapi? Na hii handshake kwani ni ile sisi ufinyanga Kenyatta kwa mkono ya karao? Swali, hata kama tuko na Kenyatta, ndio maana strongly feel hatujapata uhuru. Nchi inaongozwa na thieves, na ukiogopa jua huwezi kuwa chief. Iba hizo mamita, Scott free, niibe tu kuku ntalala ndani. At least Pastor Ng'ang'a na washinda, na danganyanga hadharani. Hapo parliament kwani mna shida gani? Simtuibie kiplani, wajinga nyinyi.
Ufisadi, ubinafsi, ukabila, kuuza sura wataki kuuza sera. Undugu ni kufaana, sitasimama maovu ya kitawala, sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Unaweza argue crime doesn't pay, lakini huwezi dismiss justice in a bay. Mwizi ana 40 days, 365 days later anaendelea kugrow fatter.
We vote for drug dealers, support corrupt leaders. We eat the trash they feed us, believe whatever they teach us. Indeed, we are the victims, we bleed for their ambitions. The sheep are being eaten. For this my heart is bleeding. I'm coming with the truth and I'm aiming at your cerebellum. Ninabongesha my youth, hata wase wako jela.
Barua toka Jaramogi na Kenyatta, wanauliza kama Kenya kuko sawa. Nikawajibu Kenya tuko na disaster, watoto wetu wanazidi kuzikana.
Dosi aliniambianga freedom never comes for free. We vote tribe ama real cash, ask Boni. Tuna Roma lia mwezi tajesu plus dogi. Wal mzima Twitter keotindo fast body. Ban pictures in Africa, black coffee and none. I'm richer than my neighbor but we're both in a slum. If the rich always win, why should the popular run? Unless democracy ni what you say my only for fun. Mzigo wetu unazidi kuwa mzito. Watoto wane na mshahara wa 2,500 ya vitabu na viatu na vyakula. Nauliza namba utela, dehuni ubana. Chia kitu kidogo, chia watu wadogo. Tutaka chai yewe ndugu, endani Mungu. Wananchi tuna mind, mbona walafi watuongoza? Wanatutawala, tuwametugawanya.
Our corrupt leaders won't face jail time, but the free airtime bonus can get a blogger arrested. Mr. Minister, stealing money to build 5 stars. Could he be a star and build a public cancer facility?
ongwae mi natumianga, lakini ongwae pia umetuangushanga. Tusianzie mbali, cheki nyanjwa barabara, aibu kubwa kwa watu wetu wa hapa. Connection ya Bosongo town mpaka Suneka, na hiyo soko mmekula mpaka mikeka, na hiyo hela si ni 56 million, BBI sitting at 18 million.
So tell us, what led you to writing such bold music?
I think the nature of the kind of music, or the genre of the kind of music we do also, one of the elements that is could inspire. I think hip hop, most of the greatest MCs wametokea hapa in diaspora pia wamekuwa inspired na conditions, whether the environment, struggles fulani. Ukiangalia kama Park alishutiwa mara 5, 50 ameshutiwa mara 5. Ukiangalia tu kama kina Eminem, Tony White, lakini alipitia struggles fulani. So kuna element ya struggle kwa hiyo muziki.
Na kufanya hizi ngoma ulikuwa unaogopa kama au wenye unakemea that watakuwa na backlash, that watakuingilia ama watakupigia simu?
Tulikuwa tunatoni nao, lakini sometimes situation inafika unajisikia kama watu, yani umekuwa kwa edge, unajua, na sometimes ukiweza bila ukinyamaza maybe then some issues haziwezi kuwa solved na vitu kama hizo. So at that time tulikuwa na feel kama voice ya vijana, unaona. So lazima kuna change, na lazima watu waweze kuspeak out, na lazima watu waweze articulate issues zao.
Uliwaipata mtu amekuthreaten ama amekupigia simu akakwambia uache kufanya ngoma iko na that tone of message, tone down what you're saying?
I think some threats as such, like kuthreateniwa on a life, life or situations, lakini in one or another pia tulikuwa tunafightiwa, unaona. Even the music industry, maybe media, nation ama whatever the particular media. Lakini kuna time media pia ilijaribu kushut out whatever music ulikuwa unajaribu kufanya, unaona. Unapata for example, me Kampo personally nilipaishwa, unaona. Sometimes sikuja kutoki live, lakini I think vile pia vitu zilikuwa designed ama system ilikuwa designed some vitu watu kama na sideline, sababu I think it's just a capitalistic society, unajua. So watu wanataka tu ku-associate na ile kitu ita please the status quo.
So since the time that you wrote these songs until now, do you feel the situation has changed? Do you feel that things that you are hoping would be done have actually been done, or are we still in the same situation?
In general, a lot of things bado has changed, unaona. Kind of corruption bado iko widespread. Kama ni tribalism bado watu wajaribu kulenga na vitu, lakini politics za Kenya bado ziko based na hiyo design, unaona. So kuna issues more bado has change, unaona. That's why zapata labda vitu tulikuwa nafanya hiyo time zinaweza mpaka saa hizi. Yote is the same issues walikuwa wanapitia time ndio zinaweza relate mpaka saa hizi. Watu wanaweza relate na hizo music saa hizi.
So wasanii wakiandika ngoma kama hizi ziko na maana kweli, ama unafanya tu hiyo ngoma una hope, uko na imani that itakuwa na impact kwa society?
I think kuna elements fulani pia kuna vilikuwa swala mbeleni, tuliweza kubrush shoulders kidogo na watu, unaona. Others hatunge brush shoulders kama iko na impact. Tungeongea hapo kuhusu cultural revolution of vitu kama hizo. Sheng iko accepted, unajua design hata kuvaa, unaona. Watu ukivaa ukidunga dread, mimi niko na dread zimeshuka mpaka hapa, unaona, kwanza kumbuka. Uko unaenda kwa ofisi tuna madread, au kwa ndo kuja job kama hii, waweza andikwa job atijuna dread. Au advertising saizi, unaona, advertising yote bila kutumia sheng, hakuna mali your product inaweza fikia masses. So I think as much as ndio ilikuwa atu formally wajaribu ku accept, lakini the impact iko felt mpaka saizi, wanaweza feel mpaka saizi.
Thank you very much for speaking to us and sharing your story and the story behind your art form.
Sasa.
Asante sana. Right. Some of the songs you've done, they speak truth to power. What is your inspiration? What has motivated that?
You know, when you are in the slum, and for example, I'm raised in the slum, but also I've seen a rich kind of life. and you can see a difference in that. It's because you got so much through things that no one else can do it. That only music, singing that thing can bring it out. I was either to be a criminal or to be a musician. I am here today, popular, with what I stand for, not because I got papers to be an amazing musician. No, situation made me be here. I have music in my blood. I find it as a tool that makes it easy to speak things that are hard. Because speaking to power is like speaking to a king, for example. You don't, for example, a king that is ruling right now, let's say Brother Ruto, right? You don't just go to him and start giving him order of what to do just because you think you're who you are. A king can either kill you or make you, because he's in power. So what's the best way you can go to a king? Is either entertain him or tell him the truth through what is going to secure him, give him solution rather than to, you know, come straight. So I find music really as a thing that makes it easy for me to speak.
Nalipa tax na hata siwezi afford kupanda taxi.
No one tones me down at this point, because just imagine when you're being pressed and someone keeps on poking that wound and burns you with a candlelight, and you don't tell me I cannot scream. You want me to tone down? You want me to tone down? You have to cover my mouth then. So when you feel pain, express your pain. Like all the situation we are having right now in this universe, protests right now, mandamano. Everybody is being a sheep, just following. Someone has to stand for us to follow. Someone, you stand for yourself first of all. Do we really have to go out there and spoil somebody's business? Do we? Unaenda unaiba mali ya mtu. Kenya is a divine land. Imagine how many companies we're going to lose when we do wrong things. Let us be afraid of ourselves, first of all.
My lords and ladyships, this is not the only artist who's using their music to tell things as they are, despite the possible backlash from the powers that be.
My lords and ladies, when words are spoken, they have power. And when spoken word as an art kicks in, it sometimes unsettles those in power. My submissions.
Poverty ilini challenge, ilinipatia life challenge, na mimi nikaamua to take the challenge. Na sasa hii napigana nayo. Because familia mingi zinaishi ghetto na nini, and mzazi haezi wakimu, more so single mothers, you know. So nikaamua the best way to reward my mom is just working hard, and through poetry I think we can smile at the end. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Mti mzuri lazima upigwe mawe. At some point unapata moso hizi piece zenye mimi nafanyanga za social justice. Unapata kama place kuna mwanasiasa anakujua. Anajua Brayo huwa anapiga mawe gava. So yeye anakuita anakwambia manze mimi nataka nikupatie show, lakini manze anakurestrict to a certain point, anakwambia kuna vitu usiongelele. So you are like, so nisiongelele aje hizo vitu, na hizo ndo vitu na mimi nafanya. Unajua msanii ni kioo cha jamii. So what makes me an artist kutokana na ule mwanaharakati mwingine mwenye anaenda kwa street maybe kuprotest ama nini. Now it's my creativity way, how I add my creativity in those pieces. To notice as an artist, you just need to discover the issues zenye haziishangi. So hizo issue kama corruption, bad governance. Wase wako kwa street kwa nini? Wana feel kuna kitu haiendi poa. Cases za jobless youth na bei ya chakula zinashindana kupanda. Jamii nakubali manze. As you can see, ingekuwa ikubali pia ninge give up. I think jamii kukubali na pia mafans kuappreciate is one way of encouraging you to keep going. Let me take you back to Turkana. Sahi gavai bongi story ya food. Sahi kulisho tuna rely kwa mitandao for feedback. You see, every dog has its own day. But I can't move forward because this government is determined to see us back. Don't be surprised kwa hii nchi mtu mwenye amemanga mahindi akigeuziwa serial killer man. Kuona haki imekuwa ngumu kama zile maegava ingetumia project kutimiza. Kwa hii nchi
wezi wa mashamba ndo wana run law firms, wana hold title tofauti na their deeds, huku hata mse mwenye amesomea farming expert haezi succeed akipanda mbegu.
Nothing further from me, much obliged.
Apart from recording and performing artists, Your Honor, there are also visual artists who use their art to paint the real picture of what's happening in the society.
Graffiti kwetu tunatumia kama kutuma ujumbe kwenye jamii, kusaidia jamii hasa kwenye jambo linalozuka ama kitu ambacho kinasumbua jamii. So tunatumia mfumo wetu wa sanaa kuelimisha jamii iweze kuongoka ama kuona mbele ni vipi. Mama huyu tumemchora kuonesha uwepo wa mama. Mama akona nguvu gani kwenye jamii? Mama akona uwezo gani kwenye jamii? Tukiangalia hapa mama mboga anauza mboga mtaani. Kila mtu ananunua mama mboga kwake. Mtu ananunua nyanya kwake. So mama mboga amesaidia jamii kiupande wake tena mkubwa sana. So lazima tumshukuru na tuoneshe nguvu zake. Je, kwenye jamii ametusaidia upande gani? Haswa huyu mama mboga, pindi kunapotokea vurugu lolote, basi akiumia yeye, jamii nzima imeumia. Sasa shida iko ni kuwa mama mboga anafanya kadri ya uwezo wake, lakini bado siasa haijamwangalia mama mboga. Mama mboga kukitokea na vita, vurugu la siasa, mtu wa kwanza kuumia ni yeye, sababu kazi yake haiwezi endeleza. Mama mboga huyu ile kazi anayofanya anasaidia watoto wake kwa nyumba. So pindi kukitokea vurugu, waga asaidike mama mboga. Na pindi siasa zikishaisha, mwanasiasa akishachukua zile kura, akishatangazwa yeye ndo mshindi, basi katu angalie nyuma, hamwangalii mama mboga. Wale wananchi wa chini ndo bado wanamregelea mama mboga. Vipi mbona tukuoni? Lakini pale ni biashara yake isharibiwa.
Justice Wanjiku, black and white can also be presented in color. That's it for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
Do these hard messages hit home or just serve as a form of art without conviction that would lead to change?
Kenya, hatukuwachi milele. Wewe ni baba na mama yetu. Oh Kenya, nchi yangu milele.
I've always created art that speaks truth to power because I felt it was a sense of duty, and I think out of a sense of responsibility. Just being able to put together a message in seasons when we need to speak about a few things, when we need to pass across some messages. We've had our audiences really coming through. They actually know us for our political satire shows, where they actually come and engage us in whatever message or voice that we are speaking about.
My administration runs this entire camp with the highest, the utmost level of integrity. Every single thing is done by them.
There's always a bit of fear, I guess, when you do these things. There's always a bit of you that fears what will somebody say, what will the government say. We've been asked, even after the show, hey, you guys, what do you, aren't you afraid about this? But I think as artists, we do have a space to create, a space to express, and I think there is a bit of comfort in that, you know, this is who we are, this is what we do, and we can be able to speak it out, especially to an audience who is, you know, ready and willing to listen.
Hyena testicles, snake venom, and industrial hemp will weed this country out of debt.
I don't feel like the situation has changed much. I think, if anything, things are getting more intense. So, if the question is about whether we feel our message has had an impact, I think the impact is there, but it takes time, I think, and it takes many instances of hearing the message to be able to make a change or to be able to convince anybody to do something about it. So, for an immediate change, maybe not, but who knows what the future holds. We do shows, we sell out shows, we have people buying tickets, we have people interested in our shows. Remember, we're entertainers, at the end of the day, we put out entertainment. So people come also for a good time. As much as they're coming to hear the message that we're talking about, they also come for a good time. They're interested in the show, they're interested in the entertainment. We are performers, so, who doesn't want a Saturday night where they just go and chill, have a laugh, at the same time maybe experience a message or two in a different way from what they've had on the mainstream.
Nimeandika mistari bila kabairo, ini Kanairo, the hip hop city, Dandora, L-O-V-E-E is a grade some have given the political class. Some would say F, but others would say that's crass and insist it's an A. A-N-D, speaking of rhymes and Dandora. Whatever happened to the case of the papers of Pandora? Or is this a box would rather leave shut, just shut up, button our shirts up, and belt out praises of the silence we hear? We would rather hear the silence of the guns in the rift. Then Wanjiko will know all the bravado and tough talk is legit. The promises to scuttle cartels. When will this end? Is it that no one can tell? Can anyone tell why there is not a single arrest on the COVID millionaires? Those who sucked the life out of the poor COVID bleedonaires. Those who bled out, died, while the blood money profiteers went out, dined. That aside, in the case of CASs, court says no, Gov says go. I thought we are a country guided by the rule of law, or is it the rule of law? Lower number of women in cabinet than promised, lower standard of integrity in speech for the caliber of office, not caring if the toxic talk turns to fatal fumes and flames, just so they can win the streets and credit to their names. They may enjoy, but turn a blind ear to the heart of Julius Owino's ink, muffle their conscience so that the truth will not sink, as they sink their teeth into costly meals, toasting drinks in this roasting cost of living, while others are sinking deep into the hands of the ghosts of grieving. Their loved ones, their dreams, their jobs, their property, which was destroyed because protests did not end properly. Were they intended to anyway? Or is it that the message must be heard in any way? So many blurred lines and bloodlines when some cops seem keen to add the total sum of corpses. A lot of this rings the tune, his system niya majambazi, shifters of humanity. My lords and ladyships, there is more truth to be spoken. So we seek an adjournment to pick it up when the courtroom is reopened. P.S. Our adjournments are not just a case delaying tactic. Ours is about facts and quality of position, not playing static, because this is News Court.
This is NTV.